And that's about it for now. The Leonard thing, we're going to have to get out of here and get ready for the pregame show, which will be coming up in just a minute. So this is WSRN, the voice of the Crumb, 640 on your radio dial. And I'll be seeing you sometime. Don't forget to listen to the pregame show followed by the game. Following is the WSRN sports presentation.
Hello everybody, this is Mike Halpern welcoming you to another edition of the WSRN pregame huddle. Before each Garnet Road game broadcast, we bring you an interview with various members of the Swarthmore team. This week's guests are senior co-captains John Somerton and Fred Montgomery. John, as the team's quarterback, I think we'll start with you. I think the natural question is, what did you think of last week's 52-6 victory over Dickinson?
Well, Mike, there's only one thing you can say about a 52-6 victory. It was great. Everything went well, even better than we expected. We were a little surprised to roll up the score that much, but it was just our day all the way around.
Yes, it seemed to me that the overall team execution was about as good as it's been in the last 4 years. What do you think?
This is true. We really clicked. We had the timing in the backfield and the blocking in the line. The holes were there and the backs hit just as they opened up. So we were really running well.
Well, before and during the game, the sports information director at Dickinson and other people in the press box mentioned the fact that 4 years' experience at quarterback was a very important thing in college football. Now, that fits your description very well. Do you think this is an important thing?
Yes, I do, Mike. I think there's no substitute for experience, really, because it's under game conditions that you have to function, and practice can be rough and it can be a scrimmage also, but there's no substitute for the actual game conditions. And if a quarterback has a couple years' experience acting under pressure, this helps out immeasurably.
Also, in your case, John, I think it helps when you have receivers like Taylor Cope and Dick Kamen and Fred that you've played with before. This must help your execution a great deal.
This is true, Mike. The longer you spend with a receiver, the more time you work with him. You learn his moves, and in the event he has to break a pattern, you know just where he's going to go and where he'll be.
Well, this week's opponent is F&M. Now, what essentially will be your strategy? You opened up the Dickinson defense in amazing style. Have the scouting reports indicated that you'll do the same against F&M, or will you use a different strategy?
Our scouting reports indicated a couple things. Number one, they bunch in the middle quite a bit, so chances are we'll try to go outside on them. Number two, their linebackers stunt quite a bit also. So this, particularly for the line, means blocking adjustments. And number three, they play our receivers man-to-man. And I really don't think there's any team that can afford to play our receivers man-to-man. So we probably will pass a lot against them going around the outside.
Well, they have a right side linebacker, Dubois, I believe his name is, who was a second-team Little All-American choice. Does he figure in any of your offensive strategy at all?
We've looked at this fellow before, and he's probably the best ball player they have on the team. But we think if we have the proper execution, we should not adjust our game away from a certain ball player. We're just going to play our regular game, and if it turns out he stops our plays at that side, we'll just go to the air or adjust somewhere during the game.
Well, John, you do the punting for the team, and I know this year they have a new rule about punt coverage. And I just wanted to ask you, as the kicker, how does this affect the way you pick the ball and whatever way you place it?
Well, briefly, the new rule is that the lineman cannot go downfield until the ball is actually kicked. This means you can't have your lineman downfield covering the punt, so you're more liable to have a punt run back against you. As a kicker, this means that I'll have to punt away from the safety man and the deep man on the punts, which means low driving kicks out of bounds, preferably, so they can't get a run back.
Would it also mean that you used the quick kick a little bit more? I know you used it against Dickinson last week, and it went off very well.
This is definitely true. A quick kick has a surprise value, of course, and their safety men are not backboard. It goes over their head, preferably. And the way the ball is kicked on the run usually gets a good roll, so it often is as long as a regular punt.
Well, finally, I'd like to ask you if you have any personal goals for this season as a co-captain and as a quarterback of a team that has won 2 straight championships in the Southern Division.
The only goal I have, Mike, is to win another championship. As long as we keep winning games, that's enough for me.
That sounds fine. John, thanks very much for being on the show. It's a pleasure as usual.
Thank you, Mike.
Now we're going to talk with Fred Montgomery, who plays tight end and outside linebacker on the team and is a co-captain along with John Somerton. And Fred, first question is, the defensive backfield and the linebacking worked very well against Dickinson. And I know we had 2 freshmen in there, Bobby Clark and Jerry Whitson, and everybody seemed to gel very well in the defensive backfield. Now, what did you think about it?
Well, offensively, we got off to a real good start, and that helped the defense click a lot. Everyone was hitting, making good tackles, and as you pointed out, the freshmen did help us quite a bit. Al Douglas got in there a little bit on defense. I think that the major factor was that the whole team was up for the game, and that we got off to a good, quick start, scored a couple of touchdowns real fast, and everything fell right into place after that. It seemed like the defense couldn't do anything wrong.
I know you looked very good out there. You were especially good at stopping the end run plays, and you especially were in on a lot of tackles on their end runs. Would you tell the fans basically what the teamwork between the defensive end and tackle and the linebackers and the defensive halfbacks are on such a play?
Well, as outside linebacker, my primary responsibility is to watch the outside. The coaches tell me that my first job is to close down the hole and to knock down all the interference. They say, don't even worry about making the tackle, just turn the play upfield. So I'll try to knock down the blockers and push the play into the center of the field where the tackle, the inside linebacker, Chris King, can help out, and also the halfback can come up on the play. If we can contain their end game, usually we have a pretty successful day.
Well, also on one of the screen passes that they tried, you made a very jarring tackle that broke up the play. Now on a screen pass, what does the outside linebacker have as a responsibility?
Well, of course, we don't know when any screen pass is coming. We'll see the quarterback drop back, and I'm speaking for both Dick Kamen and myself, Dick Kamen being the other outside linebacker. We drop back as if it is a regular pass, and normally when you see about 5 members of the other team going off to one of the sidelines, you can tell that the screen is up, and then you just try to thread your way through and look and see who the ball is being thrown to, and then go after it.
Well, last week you were standing out in the flat, and the quarterback threw you the ball. You were the only man there, and then you took off and ran 80 yards with an interception for a touchdown. What do you think happened on that play? Because you seemed like the intended receiver anyway.
Certainly a large part of the credit has to go to the fellow who hit the quarterback just as the quarterback was throwing the ball. I don't know who it was who got in there, but the quarterback certainly didn't hit his intended target, and I was just running out in the flat. It just happened to be a matter of being in the right place at the right time, I think.
Well, when you saw daylight there, did you feel that was a little bit more exciting than catching an offensive pattern for a touchdown?
Well, I haven't caught an offensive pattern for a touchdown yet, so it certainly was very exciting and unexpected. It's sort of the type of thing that all linebackers dream about. It seemed to come true very seldom.
Well, this week you play F&M. What basically have you heard about their offense, and what are we going to play our defense in response to that?
Well, they have a large fullback who will be coming up the middle, slanting off tackle. And also they have a strong halfback who likes to run around end quite a bit. Also they have two receivers who line up on the same side. And so they will be looking out for those four players primarily.
Well, I know the team had a very poor scrimmage, the last one before the opener, and they were down. And then the big victory against Dickinson last week. After a week of practice now, how do you feel the team morale is right now?
I think it's great. Yesterday we had a terrific practice and really hustling all week. There are a lot of young fellows on the team, and this helps them morale a lot. They're a lot more willing to take orders and to follow and do what the coaches say. I think we're really up for this game today.
All right, well, thank you very much, Fred, and good luck today.
Thank you.
This has been the WSRN pregame huddle with special guests John Somerton and Fred Montgomery. Now stay tuned for Swarthmore football.
This is WSRN Swarthmore College Radio, the voice of the Garnet on the road. Your dial is set for Swarthmore football on Radio 640. For the fourth straight year, WSRN brings you Swarthmore football. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Frank Brown, along with Mike Halpern, speaking to you from Williamson Field at Franklin and Marshall College in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And we're about to have our national anthem, and then we'll give you the starting lineup. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. All right, everyone. Here we are at Lancaster, set for the broadcast of the Swarthmore, Franklin, and Marshall football game. Swarthmore comes into the game with a record of 1 win and no losses, having routed Dickinson 52-6 at Carlisle last week in a game you heard on WSRN. And Franklin and Marshall comes in 0-1. They were upset by John Hopkins last week, 19-14 in the late stages of the ball game. Last season, F&M held Swarthmore to a 7-7 tie at Swarthmore. Year before Swarthmore beat Diplomats of F&M here by the score of 18-9. And in the history of this rivalry, F&M won 26, lost 17, with a tie gun. The weather is cloudy and cool, but not quite as cold as the Dickinson, and there isn't that much to do. There doesn't seem to be much chance of rain, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of sunlight either. And the field is in really good shape. Now, as the football team come out of the locker room, here is Mike Halpern to give you the probable offensive starting lineup.
Thank you, Frank. Hello, everybody. First of all, for the F&M Diplomats, starting at left end, number 14, Rusty Ward, a junior, 5'11", 178 pounds, from Manhattan, New Jersey. At left tackle, number 70, Charles Bourgeois, a junior, 5'10", 196 from Barrington, New Jersey. At left guard, number 66, Ray San Severino, senior, 5'9 and a half, 185 pounds from Uniondale, New York. At center, number 55, Ed Gallagher, a senior, 6 feet tall, half inch, 207 pounds from Northeast, Maryland. At right guard, number 63, Amy Tripoli, a junior, 5'10 and a half, 187 pounds from Harlem, New York. At right tackle, number 60, Dave Lehman, senior, 5'10", 195 pounds, Corey Little, PA. One of the co-captains is right end, number 82, Russ Moore, Vulcan Cover, senior, 6 feet tall, 182 pounds, from Wyoming, Pennsylvania. Quarterback, number 15, DJ Thorne, junior, 6 feet tall, 185 pounds, from Johnson, Pennsylvania. At left half, number 31, Archie Alexander, junior, 5'9", 180 from Pelham, New York. Fullback number 35, Al Stone, junior, 6 feet tall, 230 pounds from Western Massachusetts. And finally, at right halfback, number 41, Al Dunbar, junior, 5'11", 165 from Harrisburg, PA. For the Garnet, at left end, number 83, Taylor Coates, junior from Huntington, Indiana. At left tackle, number 70, John Borlick, a sophomore from Georgetown, Delaware. At left guard, number 61, Eric Blumberg, a senior from Southampton, PA. At center, number 50, John Burton, a freshman from Milford, Delaware. At right guard, number 63, Joe Kelly, a sophomore from Houston, Texas. At right tackle, number 77, John Logan, a sophomore from Racine, Wisconsin. At right end, co-captain, number 82, Fred Montgomery from Chicago, Illinois. Quarterback, number 11, John Summerson, also a co-captain from Newcastle, Delaware. At left half, number 22, Chip Murphy, sophomore from Dewey Beach, Delaware. At fullback, number 25, Andy Lonside, junior, Dallas, Inwood, Pennsylvania. And finally, at right half, number 23, Greg Martin, sophomore from Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay, now they had to start and Franklin Marshall has one more cross their left and Swarthmore starts to defend south goal to our right, F&M on our left, at the north goal, beaten in double faces, and number 44, Dunbar on the left. On the right side, number 26, Bill Wide, single 30, has the ball teed up for Swarthmore, and we're just about ready to go. And there's the kick. High end over in, coming down to Dunbar on the 8. He's to the 10, up the center of the field to the 15, to the 20. Stripped up and taken down by Fred Montgomery. And Dick Davis across the 20-yard line on about the 21. Not a letterman. The quarterback is trying to come on it. The backfield, we have fullback inside out, so we have Al Dunbar on the right, and in motion to the left, Jim O'Brien. Back to pass goes Torrance. He rolls right, throws right for O'Brien, just overthrown. He's at midfield. He is covered on the play by Jerry Woodson. He's behind him. This pass is overthrown.
On that play, straight down that sideline, live batter, very turned around a little late. Quarterback off of the pass. You might mention it. Very big one. Big one. Big increases here. Right after this. Thorne's face back to pass. He looks, he sees trapped in Burton and Blumberg. No, Burton tackled him on the 20-yard line. Faded back to the pass. Saw no one. Ran up the middle of the ball and got back to the line. So it's a third down.
Okay, Mike. Third down and 9 yards to go from second down. And Dunbar comes off. Placed on number 44, John Brunetti. Put out right at number 14, Ready is just a quick kick, and it's an excellent kick. Bounces down to the Swarthmore 40, takes a long hop. Inside the 20, inside the 15, and it rolls down to Swarthmore, 12 yards. John Brunetti making an excellent quick kick for the Diplomat.
Well, that was that play executed to the very best. He got that line drive kickoff, and Taylor Copeland just watched the goal because he couldn't get it up with it. Mr. Garnet was very poor for their first series of play.
Also looks out right. Summoned in as the quarterback, the halfback, Martin, and Burke, right into the fullback. Ball, handoff goes to Weinstein, trying to go over right guard. Play goes down, and the play is in, gets for around 20 yards. We'll see what the penalty is. Tackle on the play by 65, Eddie Dallas. Referee is talking to Franklin Marshall. And it's a legal motion against Swarthmore in the line, so it will be second and 9 for the Hornets from the 13-yard line of Swarthmore. Summerton rolls right, looking to throw. He throws on the right side, overthrown, and finishes with Greg Martin at about the 32-yard line.
On that pattern, the Garnet flooded the far sideline, in other words, the right side of it. The brothers were really playing a little further out. He was free from John open good. So here we have a third down play.
13 minutes, 2 seconds left in the third quarter. Summerton is set at the line of scrimmage. Calls the signal just a long time. He's going to punt. And the punt from the goal line travels to about the 45. It's going down. Then on the 49-yard line, Franklin Marshall, the owner of that little bit of extracurricular between Al Dubois and Taylor Cope. But the Diplomat will take over first and 10 on their own 49-yard line. That's pretty good exchange of kicks. Marshall, third down line. There has been 3 plays blocking after the play since the time to go up. But it's a great deal back. All the way back to the Swarthmore on their own 18-yard line. Suddenly the quick hand rolls right, looking left, and Taylor goes across the middle. At the 35-yard line, Taylor goes across the 40, and on the 41 tackle on the play by Harold Dunbar. Excellent pass pattern. Taylor really hooked the ball right to it. And pretty well covered. Over the middle, right to it. And just regarded the new life for the first down. Cut the ball on the 41st and 10 to the Garnet. Summerton set. Calls the signal. Taven is split out left at number 84. Marshall. Frank reaching over. Flushed offside. Into the stand. And then pays up 5 yards against the difference. 35 on it. 45 yards. Swarthmore gets quicker to the line of scrimmage. John Burke is the Summerton calls the signal. Back to a scoop right to Greg Martin. Flank out to the right side. Summerton hands off to Skip Burke. And he gets nowhere. This line is back 4 yards. Tackled by Phil the Rocket. Number 65. Also went on an out boys. And ready for the scoop.
Quite it worked so well after we but you have to remember that F&M has excellent linebacking. If the linebackers play to that's the tackle right there, but a very hard tackle.
Swarthmore to the line of scrimmage. Second and 5 from their own 45-yard line. Summerton ball signal. Martin kicks out to the right side. Taven split out left. Summerton throws a miscave in the cross midfield. And Skip tries to throw it all the way to Franklin Martin 40 before it can be wrestled to the ground by number 46. Touchdown ball for number 50. Linebacker Pete Carver.
Yesterday, 6-3, or actually a 5-3 defense. I think that's a good play to that.
First and 10 Swarthmore 40 back to a six strike, something on a good fake hit. Chip Burton who gets nowhere. I think he will have lost the yard. And is not pulled by that fake tackle on play by number 86.
I think running is going to be a lot harder than it was. I think like, you have to be trademark that. Look for trade somewhere right now.
41 Summerton rolls right. Still rolling. Good pressure is put on him. He is going to be tackled or driven out of bounds. You can't see with throw loss at about the 44-yard line. Excellent decision by Carver. Then the record simply by driving out of bounds. Carver is going to be outside. So it will be third and 14 for the Garden. 44.
The FNL linebackers really react in a hurry. They're going to have to go beyond them or something.
Okay, Mike Gaccio flips to the right. Summerton goes back to throw. Looks at cross. He hits Fred Montgomery right in the middle of the field. Fred has a finish rush for 40. Tries forward to about the 37-yard line. Tackled by Al Dubois.
Showing an example of tremendous linebackers. Dubois is on the other side of the ball in the air. Otherwise, Fred had a lot of running.
Swarthmore at fourth down, punting situation. Summerton will punt from midfield. He figures away, and I don't believe it's the end return to take the net and bounce at the 15, and it goes out of bounds. Lincoln will be right on the 15-yard line, the far side. And Hernandez didn't drop that he was back very deep. He's through for Thompson. They know it has to run the ball back. We'll let him get 10-30. Remaining in the first quarter of this game. Short Swarthmore 0, Franklin Martin 0. You're hearing it all on WSRN. With the stroke of 6 versus Swarthmore 6. F&M to the line of scrimmage. Barnes set. False signal in motion to the left of Rocky Alexander. Vaughn can't get up to the fullback out. Stone he gets nowhere. Knocked down immediately by John Logan. Okay, second down, 9 to go. They're on the 16-yard line. Pitch out to Harold Dunbar, the left side. He is taken down by Fred Montgomery. From charging his left corner linebacker, brings him down to Earl Loss at about the 13-yard mark.
Fred was being blocked on the pulling guard, and the ball carrier and the guard down in one club. That's one linebacker, not Montgomery.
Third down, 12 to go for the Diplomat. It's a break to the line. Ball signal, goes straight back to throw. Looking out on the left side, and now he throws across the middle. Pitches for 31 Alexander, almost intercepted by Cal. So Jerry Wilson off recovery on the play. So it will be fourth down to the situation.
Ford looks several directions everywhere he looks. Primary was the sideline pattern over on this side. Then he comes again on the other side, and he finally throws the middle, but nobody was free. It was just secondary well.
Burton and Northset, double safety at midfield. Gets the punt for F&M is number 44 Benetti. His kick is very poor. Comes down to the 40-yard line. Taken on the run by Chip Burton. Down the sideline. Go to 30. Go to 20. And driven out of bounds on the 15-yard line. Chip Burton came up hard on it. Took about the 41-yard line to return that one. 26 yards.
Very aggressive return by Chip Burton after the low kick. Up and up was very slow and focused on the sideline. He took it on the run right down the sideline. The first man who was close to him was the last man who maybe pushed out of bounds.
First pitch to the guard on the F&M 15. Came in. Points out left to the sideline, left running room right. And a handoff goes to Weinstein. Driving over left guard, goes to near the 10-yard line. Leading the block on that play was center John Burton. And they'll give them 3 yards being 12.
So this play will actually all positions place to be straight out
Yes. Okay, Mike. Second down, 7 for Swarthmore from the F&N 12-yard line. Burton goes into the slot, left the hand up, goes to Skip Burton. He drives forward across the 10 and inside the 5-yard line. Excellent power. Tackle on the play by D-Boys and number 86, Lucy Catano. It'll be first and goal for Swarthmore on the 5-yard line.
Frank, what made that play was the fake to Weinstein, who got wrapped up pretty good, and Burton just slithered right through where the tackler had been.
There we go. First and goal from the 5. Swarthmore to the line of scrimmage. Governor calls the signal. Backfield move, left hand up goes Sandy Weinstein, drives forward to the line of scrimmage, and that's as far as he can go. Driven back by that linebacker, or headed by Captain, co-captain Gilbert Rocky. Swarthmore sets second and goal from the 5-yard line. Backfield strips to the right. Governor calls signal, hits Skip Burton. Flag goes down in the plane, sits right, goes back to straight. I think they may have a promotion this time.
Someone's been starting very early on preliminary indication of offside shortstop. Instead of focusing on the dictation of flanker. I think Frank is just situation with such good reaction linebackers, no long yardage to really go for the long action. The ball is not going to play 10-yard line. We're making some new wrinkle here.
That may help, it'll give them a little bit more room to run the pass back. Get it from the 5-yard line. Okay, second and goal for Swarthmore. Number 10-yard line. Number 7, that's the line of scrimmage. Off the second, backfield, kicks to the right. John rolls right, looks to throw, gets the pass away, complete, and Andy Weinstein, the fullback, gets back to the 5-yard line, and driven down on the right sideline by Steve Harlow. Also out two boys. Seems to be in all over the place.
Frank, we have a lot of room now on the left side, and I really think that Mark Hopkins might go here, or at least end the season like Frank.
Ball spotted on the 7, third and goal. Summer is set, calls the signal, takes the hand off the first, throws into the end zone, complete for a touchdown to Chip Burton.
Yeah, he faked the street to the left side to Craig Martin, turned around to a perfect bullet. Burton caught him head high for the touchdown right near the end of the end zone. Very good execution by Somerset. The Garnet has a 6-0 lead here. With about 7 minutes going on the clock in the first quarter. 30 now is trying to get the point. Ball put down. Dump to the upright and good. Swarthmore now remains 7-0. There comes the cross-country participants coming into the stadium. Swarthmore is running against F&M here today. Looks like a very even distribution, as a matter of fact. Frank, you have a recap of that drive.
Right, it started with F&M reports to come from its own 14-yard line. It was a wobbly run. Chip Burton took it on the 21-yard line. It was attached to the 15. And then there were 3 running plays from Karen Pass. We moved down to the point. And 2 minutes more, 7 yards to the touchdown. Al Dunbar and Bill Wyatt are deep for a save for F&M. They stand in their own 3-yard line. As the 30 has the ball teed up. Everyone here is up to the kickoff. And then the 30 moves the ball very weak and wobbly, coming up to the right side. On loose ball at the 26-yard line, I believe F&M recovers it. Recovered by number 54, Maynard Little. What happened on that play was very, very short play. And the F&M blockage completed. We didn't want to on the arm, and that made it into the ball. And, well, the referee ruled the ball from the 25-yard line. It was the first and 10 F&M.
And F&M is going to their right a great deal, concentrating on our left side. They have room there again, but they have their isolated man on the left side, which is the quarterback zone.
One ball from the the outside, to the right. Torrance rolls to the right. He's looking for Hal Dunbar. He has the ball at the 25-yard line. He's across the 30, up to that 33-yard line, where he is down by Jerry Whitman, Eric Blumberg, and Chris King.
Again, Frank, they flooded that zone on our defense, which was used by the zone. Pretty much to cover three receivers, and Dunbar was wide open on that play.
There's an 8-yard pickup, so there's a second down. Two to go for Franklin Marshall on their own 33-yard line. Torrance, ball signals outstanding. This time goes in motion left. He's running all over the place. Torrance now rolls left. This time looks at Dunbar again. He has it on the left side. 37, and he is driven down immediately. On the right side by Weinstein and Tellico. That will be a first down, and 10 to go to Franklin Marshall on their own 31.5-yard line.
Torrance has been very mobile and he runs around and making these plays, not just staying straight back, moving and making the defense move with it, opening up a lot of territory.
The score here with 5 minutes left in the first quarter, Swarthmore 7, Franklin Marshall nothing. Alexander comes to the right corner, false signal, and pitches to the fullback zone, trying to turn the right side. He gets taken down hard on the 36-yard line by Fred Montgomery, who is really playing tremendous aggressive football.
So that play, Craig was blocked out. He was on the ground, raised up his hand as the halfback cut back towards the middle, and got it. And then the second effort by Montgomery.
Second and 10 for F&N in their own 37-yard line. Torrance calls the signal, goes right back to pass, and hits Rusty Ward on the right side, and taken down by Jerry Whitson after Fred Montgomery held him up. The ball is spotted on the 40-yard line, where it will be third down and 6.5 to go for the W.
Torrance was second up. It was obviously going to throw right away. All the plays have opened up the middle quite a bit. And I think we can turn that big fullback up the middle pretty well. That sort of way.
That fullback should have been playing under the defensive line. Tackle. He's got good power. Torrance sent from the 40-yard line. Alexander goes in motion left. Long count. And Torrance rolls to the left. Good rush put on. He gets the pass away. Incomplete intended for Dunbar out on the left flat. And through his level by Dick Taylor as soon as he got the ball away.
Dick was a great deal of pressure and made Torrance get rid of that ball. I think that he really didn't want to. So the funny situation, first and Margaret drop back.
Great standing. Going 30-yard line. That's dropping back. Going gets the kick away. This barrel is an excellent kick. Taken on the run by Burton at the 30. Comes across the field to the 35. Drives forward to the 40 and stands right there on the 40-yard line. The far side of the field on the play by Ray San Severino. Well, the top ball on the 41-yard line. First and 10 Swarthmore. Time left in the first quarter. 4 minutes, 45 seconds for Swarthmore 7. Franklin Marshall, nothing. Swarthmore to the line of scrimmage. Thurman Paul Strickland. Starting back to the throw, and there fits to the right. Handoff goes to Skip. First goes driven down the 35. Franklin Marshall recovers. 30-yard line. Franklin Marshall down 30-yard line.
There's nothing to say about that, Frank. It's one of those things in the game. I will see if they're going to defense. Stop F&F from moving any closer. But again, they have to apply more pressure to Thorne, even though he is on the move, because he is getting quite a bit of time to get rid of these passes. As you know, a secondary man can't stay here forever with his hand. So time is back in now. Here we go, first and goal.
F&N breaks from the huddle. And the fans are really alert now. As Archie Alexander comes in motion to the right side. His jab goes to Harold Dunbar, trying to turn the right corner. The zone is giving the fullback carry that ball. He turns to the right side, takes inside the 5-yard line. Then it's a straight pickup of 6 on the play with the second goal for the Diplomat. That was a power play over right end. Tackle on the play by Andy Weinstein. Stone looked very good on the power sweep to the right on that play. And now it's second and goal for the Diplomat, so not for the Swarthmore score. Alexander lines up on the right side, this time comes in motion left, pitch grab to Stone, running the power sweep around. Touchdown, Franklin and Marshall. And Stone ran first the power sweep to the right for 6 yards, and then the power sweep around the left side for the remaining 3. And with 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the first quarter, up and in on the scoreboard. The score is Swarthmore 7, Franklin and Marshall 6.
Nothing very tricky about that, Frank. They just powered it in on 2 plays. Here's the extra point side. This is still at no margin. They're trying to get the extra point here. Stand long and 12 is holding. Put the ball down. Kick it. Wide to the left. No good. And there's a little trouble putting the ball down. So it's 7-6 now in favor of the Garnet. I think extra point might be important as we go along here. As F&M showed they could really move. They look very good on that short series. Now the question is, can John Summers come back and get momentum for the Garnet?
F&N throws into their Swarthmore to the line of scrimmage. Summerton, ball signal, backfield, shifts to the right. Summerton, fake, throws left, Telekop has it at some 45-yard line, drives forward to about the 37-yard line. Then puts back to the 40, but they'll spot it on the 37 first and 10 Swarthmore. And Taylor is a long time getting up, but he's really hit hard on the tackle on the play by number 41, Harold Dunbar. signal. He throws the opposite pass. He did very well to get it away. And he falls incomplete at the 45-yard line. And it is almost intercepted by Dubois. He tips the rush very hard around the right side. He's lucky to get the pass away, but no one will steal the ball from the left end. And a little free back made interception and the whole far side. We also had another one.
So we're talking it over with F&M, and then we get another penalty here. 15 yards. Personal foul, I guess.
Then maybe you read the rules up here. Now it is second down, and I believe 23 yards to go on the Swarthmore 29. Number to set the line of scrimmage. All the signals. Looking for Cayman on the left side. It's rushed and driven down. No, it's a fake. The fullback draw. Weinstein goes forward to the 32-yard line. Stopped on the play by Devaney. Summerton faking brilliantly as he looked for Cayman on the left side. Dick was covered, and at that point he handed off to Weinstein going up the middle. And it was a good thing he did because Summerton went down at about the 18-yard line. Fantastic Franklin Marshall rush being put on. And they might go to the screen pass a little to try to open up against this rush. We'll see. Summerton set from his 32. Third down now, long yardage. Backfield to the right. Summerton rolling back to the right, throws the screen pass to Andy Weinstein. He has it, goes across the 35-yard line up to the 37. And he is tackled there by number 86, Lou DiGiotano. Also getting up from the bottom of the pile, number 65, Bill Narakis, co-captain. And it will be punting situation for Swarthmore. Fourth down and about 16 to go.
It was a very hard tackle on that play, Frank. Stopped Andy in his tracks, and he was moving. Good call by John, but it just wasn't enough for first down yardage.
Summerton drops back to his 25-yard line to punt. Dunbar back on the 25 to receive. It's a bad pass from center. Gunn, the ball is loose and he falls on it at the 18, and F&M will take over. And Swarthmore, which excelled in the Dickinson game, which won the game by making no mistakes, now made two bad ones back-to-back deep in its own territory, and F&M has the ball first and 10 on the Swarthmore 18. Mike?
Garnet has very wisely called for a timeout. There are about 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and the execution is beginning to fall apart a little bit, but mainly it's because of the pressure from F&M. They're playing good, hard football, and it's just no cakewalk for the Garnet. And here they're in a very bad situation. The ball is deep in Swarthmore territory, and not have to worry about the fullback. They've got to worry about the wide receivers. And F&M seems to have established itself right here. I think we need a very big defensive play to turn this game around here. But I'd look for them to go to the right if the power doesn't work again. But it seems that Horn throws better to his right. The big fullback is coming off right now, and Max Snellbaugh is in. So here we go.
First and 10 for the Dips from their own 18-yard line. Corn sets the long count. Alexander goes in motion left. Corn pitches out to Schnellbaugh, going around the left side. He's to the 15 and cut down at about the 13-yard line. Look from here. Tackled hard on the play by Bobby Clark. Well, it's spotted on the 15-yard line, so it will be second down, 3 to go. And time is out on the field as Franklin Marshall's number 62, Dennis Moriarty, is down on one knee. When the trainer's coming out, Moriarty is up, so I guess he's not hurt too badly. And now he's coming on off to the sideline. Maynard Little goes in place of him. We might mention that this football rivalry between Swarthmore and Franklin Marshall is particularly intense. 2 years ago, F&M had the longest win streak of any college team in Pennsylvania. 11 games, Swarthmore came up here and beat them 18-9, went on to win the league title. Last year, F&M knocked off Swarthmore's Mattpack win streak with a 7-7 tie, and now they're out to end the 15-game unbeaten streak, which has been quite a string for the Garnet. Swarthmore has not lost since November '64 when TMC turned the trick at TMC. And F&M really wants this win, and they are fighting really hard for it. Second down, 7 to go for the Diplomats from their 15-yard line. Korn steps at the line of scrimmage, calls the signals. Alexander comes in motion to the left. Pitch out goes to Dunbar, trying to turn the right side. He is almost taken down by Montgomery, gets away, and is tackled now at the 16-yard line. Montgomery almost had him back on the 25-yard line. Tackle on the play by Jerry Whitson. The ball's on the 16. It will be third down and 8 to go. So it was a loss of 1 on the play, despite an awful lot of running. And according to the scoreboard clock, the first quarter is over, and it is. So at the end of the first quarter, the score is Swarthmore 7, Franklin and Marshall 6, but F&M has the ball on the Swarthmore 16-yard line, third and 8. Mike?
Well, it was a pretty good first quarter, but I think F&M seems to be coming on very strong. Here we have a very important play. 8 yards the Diplomats have to get in order to keep control of the ball, or at least, I don't know, do they have a field goal kicker?
Max Snowball is the field goal kicker, and he just kicked the field.
Well, he's in the ball game right now, I think. So let's see what develops. Now, in this situation, they have a lot of room to their left. So far, they've been going to their right, and it should be interesting to see what Korn does in such a situation. Frankie may go back to that slant play that he did on the other drive right here.
It sure worked then. Okay, third and 8 rather, from the 16-yard line. Alexander again comes in motion to the left. Korn rolls to his left, his legs go down. He throws complete to Dunbar at the 10-yard line where he is tackled immediately by Taylor Cope, but the flags are down, and I think they'll be calling, well, will they be calling this one back, right?
It was offsides on the Garnet on the play. Our right defensive end, I believe, was offside. Dexter Farley jumped the gun.
I thought he might have been drawn off, but against Swarthmore declined. And so it will be fourth down and 1 yard to go for F&M on the Swarthmore 9.5-yard line. And here's one of the crucial plays to tell the tale.
They're going to measure right here just to find out how much is left. Bobby Clark has come in the defensive backfield in place of Annie Weinstein at the moment. So here we go. They don't have the fullback in, I don't think. They're going to go for it. Let's see who gets it.
They have Alexander, Snellbaugh, and Dunbar in the backfield. Rusty Ward splits out wide on the right as they have a lot of room to the right, sideline to the left. Korn hands off to fullback Snellbaugh, who has the first down as he goes to the 8-yard line. Goes over left tackle, and it's first and goal, F&M on the Swarthmore 8.
Well, their line seems to be moving ours out, and that's the difference. Now Andy Weinstein comes in for Farley at defensive right end. Garnet is going to have to put some pressure as the big fullback Stone comes back to take Snellbaugh's place in the F&M lineup. Garnet has to put on some pressure here. F&M is doing these plays as they will.
Korn sets as Alexander comes in motion to the right side. And the pitch after Stone on the power sweep to the right, and he's down at about the 5-yard line. The Tangle players. I see Fred Montgomery is in there on the stop. And he was helped out on the play by Weinstein.
Number 63, Joe Kelly, has come in defensive tackle in place of number 77, John Logan, who seems to have turned an ankle on that last play. And the Garnet is kind of getting a little smaller there on the defensive line.
Second down, goal to go for F&M from the 5. Corns false signals. He's rolling to the left side. And to Al Stone, the fullback, running the power sweep to the other side, and he gets inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. The play by number 22, Chip Burton, coming up from safety. And it will be 3rd and goal for F&M on the 3 as they are slowly but surely grinding out the yardage.
Burton made a good tackle there with his arms. He stopped a man who weighed about 50 pounds more very well. Corns might try and throw this one. We'll see.
Ward split out way wide to the right. Corns rolls to the right with Dunbar leading the blocking for him. He's going to try to get it himself on a bootleg, and he doesn't make it as he's to near the 1-yard line. It'll be on the 1, 4th and goal for F&M, and here we are again, Mike.
Well, it's just a question of who wants the football more. Both benches are standing up right now. Everybody on the field is watching this one. Garnet has got to hit a little harder in that line if they want to stop this.
Okay. Franklin Marshall's on the Swarthmore 1-yard line. 4th and goal. Alexander comes in motion left. Cards false signals. Hands off the fullback Stone goes in, but the referees wave it dead. F&M was too slow getting the play off. Delay of game. As Stone went in over left tackle, but the ball is back now on the 6-yard line where it will be 4th and goal.
Field goal kicker is coming in, Snellbach, for the fullback Stone, so obviously that penalty means they're going to change strategy. Now here comes the holder, number 12, Sam Long, in for the quarterback Horns, and now timeout F&M as they're trying to get organized for a field goal try.
They'll have the ball on the right side of the field. There's going to be a pretty good angle for Schnellbach. They'll probably put that ball down from about the 15-yard line. And it's going to have to be pretty accurate on this because his margin of error isn't too great with this kind of angle, Mike.
With 11:40 showing on the clock here in the first half, 7-6 in favor of the Garnet, and F&M is going to try this field goal. At this moment, the cross-country meet between Swarthmore and F&M is ending as the runners are crossing the finish line. It looks quite even, but I think the Garnet is ahead so far in the finishing. I know we got 1st and 3rd, and we seem to be packed further back. All right, here's the field goal try.
The ball will be placed down on about the 14.5 yard line. Long call signals, puts the ball down. Schnellbach kicks it, it's low, and the attempt is no good as the ball went bounced right under the upright, and it wasn't even close. So Swarthmore takes over, still leading 7-6 with 11:35 left in the half. They'll take over in the 20.
Well, we got a big break there with a delay of game of all penalties on the 1 yard line, and it stopped F&M where we couldn't. Now let's see if the offense can get moving again.
The ball placed midway between the sidelines on the 20. Handoff goes to Craig Martin, who goes nowhere. He tries to go forward on the right side. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Garnet. Tackle on the play by number 70, Paul Guzwa.
I think John has tried his straight ahead plays, and they're just simply not working. He's going to have to open that defense with a little deception, and he better do it pretty soon.
Backfield moves to the left this time. An unusual shift as Burton goes into the slot. Handoff goes to Craig Martin trying to sweep left, and he goes to the 22-yard line. Tackled by Steve Carver and Bill Nirakis. And the zone was almost impossible against this excellent Franklin and Marshall linebacking crew.
Yes, they're playing a 5-3-3 basically, and those three linebackers are, you know how the Packers play football. This is the way those linebackers are playing. They're all over whether you pass or run, and it's a challenge to a quarterback to beat them.
Backfield makes a more usual shift to the right. Summerton goes back to throw, intended for Cope across the middle, and goes off the hands of Harold Dunbar, the defender, incomplete as it was thrown behind Taylor. He would have been open for a good pass. And again, the rush is getting to John.
Well, that was just a case of a bad pass. John was a little disturbed with that one on his head. But now he's got to do the punting. And kicking could become a more and more important part if we can get off some good punts here, because we're not moving the football.
Wyand and Dunbar keeps to receive. Summerton punting from his own 15-yard line. An excellent punt. Taken by Dunbar at the 37-yard line. He comes across to the 40, going to the left sideline, across the 45 and down to the 47. Stop on the play by number 63, Joe Kelly, and number 23, Craig Martin. It'll be on the 48. First and 10 for Franklin and Marshall.
Frank, I think John Loven is back in the defensive lineup at tackle. I think I see him in there. Yes, he is. So apparently he's okay.
The line reading from right to left. Farley, Logan, Blumberg, and John Burton. F&M set from the 48-yard line. Alexander in motion to the right. Corn calls the signal, hands off to Dunbar. He goes over right tackle and goes across midfield into Swarthmore territory at about the 48. Tackle on the play by number 61, Eric Blumberg, and it will be a pickup of 4. Second and 6 for the Diplomats. With 10 minutes remaining in the first half, the score, Swarthmore 7, Franklin and Marshall 6. And you're hearing it all on WSRN, the voice of the Garnet on the road. Second and 6 for the Diplomats from Swarthmore's 48-yard line. Alexander in motion to the left this time. Korn with a quick pass on the right side to split end Rusty Ward. He has it at the 45 and drives forward to about the 42-yard line, tackled by Chris King. Third and about 1 yard to go for Franklin and Marshall. Corns calls the signal, hands to his fullback Stone, driving for the yardage. The flag goes down on the play. And it would be close to a first down anyway, but there were a couple flags that went down on the far side of the field. I think they're going to call it back because it's motion against Franklin and Marshall. That's what they're doing. And it will be third down now and 6 to go from the 48-yard line. Mike?
Might pass on a World Series score here. At the end of 2, it's St. Louis 1, Boston nothing.
Big play for the Diplomats. Third and 6 from the 48-yard line. Corns sets Alexander in motion to the left. Corns rolls to the left side, and he's almost tackled for a loss. Good rush put on. He is pulled down by Andy Weinstein. Excellent pursuit. Back around his own 40-yard line. First man in on him was John Burton.
That Burton, Farley, Weinstein all came in very hard. And this is what the Garnet has to do with Corns. Obviously, he's a passer who rolls, and you just have to put pressure on him. And there they put a lot of pressure and tackled him for a loss.
Brunetti will have to punt from his own 28-yard line. It's 4th and 18 for the Diplomats. Line is being the 40. Burton and Martin back in double safety at their own 25. The kick is away. It's a high boot. It's going to be taken by Burton at the 26. It goes to the left sideline as he goes to the 30, to the 35, across to the 37-yard line. Stop on the play by number 60, Dave Lehman. And the ball will be spotted on the 38-yard line, 1st and 10 Swarthmore. We have 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining to be played in the first half, with Swarthmore leading 7-6. Swarthmore to the line of scrimmage. Backfield shifts to the left side. Summerton calls signals. Hands off to Craig Martin, turning the left side. He's across the 40 and up to the 43-yard line. Good little sweep by Craig. Tackle on the play by Pete Carver. And now John Basillo is in his fullback for the Garnet in place of Andy Weinstein. So it will be 2nd and 5 for the Garnet from the 43-yard line. Summerton sets calls and signals. Backfield shifts left. John hands to Craig on the same play, and he goes to about the 44-yard line. There he is driven down hard by Ludi Jordy. And it will be a pickup of 1, making it 3rd and 4.
Frank, I think John has a sideline pattern on the right side set up pretty well, watching the F&M defense. Of course, they may be looking for it, but I think he does have it set up by his motion towards the left.
Garnet set on the 44-yard line, 3rd and 4. Summerton calls signals. Backfield shifts right. John fakes. Hands off to Basillo on the draw, and John goes to the 46-yard line and then driven back to the 45. And he didn't get much power going there. Dubois in on the tackle. And they'll spot it on the 46, so it's not enough.
It looked like he had a big hole, but he cut the wrong way, and they got nailed by that fine linebacker.
So it's 4th and 2 on their own 46-yard line. John Summerton will have to punt for the Garnet, standing on his own 34-yard line. Kick is almost blocked. It's an excellent one. There's going to be no return on this one as it bounces inside the 10 and is going to roll dead. Touchdown on the 5-yard line, but a penalty flag is down. Penalty flag is thrown down at midfield. And that's a shame because John made an excellent punt and it looks like it's all going to come back. Well, let's see, a lot of players milling around in the vicinity of the 25-yard line. And it's coming back.
Frank, if the penalty is against F&M, it may give the Garnet a first down, so we'll have to see whether they're offsetting penalties or just penalty against offside Franklin and Marshall. So we get another crucial 5-yard penalty, gives us a first down on the 49 of Franklin and Marshall.
We'll have to break. I was afraid it was our old nemesis, the illegal motion play. But now we have it 1st and 10 on the F&M. 49-yard line. Backfield shifts left as Weinstein is backing at fullback. Handoff goes to Weinstein. Flags go down in the play, and Andy goes to the 47-yard line.
Well, it's 5 yards on the Garnet on that one. So referee takes back what he gave to us. So it'll be 1st and 15 now. I think John may throw a pass. He's been staying on the ground, I think, purposely. But he's got to throw here somewhere.
Backfield shifts to the left. Summerton calls signals, fakes the handoff to Martin. He has good protection. He throws and has Chip Burton in the open at the 40, and he drives forward to the Franklin and Marshall 37. Stop on the play by Rick Thompson. We have information on the one Cardinal run in that World Series game. Cardinals leading the Red Sox 1-0 after 2. The Luke Rock tripled and Kurt Flood singled him home. So we'll try to keep you posted on that also. It's 1st and 10 Swarthmore on the F&M 37-yard line. There was a ragged start on that play, but no flags. Handoff goes to Weinstein, and Andy Sipperly tackles him at about the 33-yard line. Excuse me, that was Burton on the play. Sipperly stopping him at the 33-yard line.
Frank, I think John may throw again. He connected very well with his halfback, Burton, the play before this last one. And I think he spotted something in putting his receivers in between the deep men.
Second and 6 and 33. Summerton rolling right. He's throwing across the middle, complete to Dick Heyman, to Dexter Farley, the tight end. And Farley is tackled on the 18-yard line at the first down, Swarthmore.
Tremendous catch as he was surrounded by three F&M defenders. He went high in the air and he got hit. He brought it down. Very good play by the tight end.
Farley is the tight end, came and split out left. Summerton hands to Martin, running around the left side. Runs hard inside the 20-yard line, inside the 15 now, and hit hard. Really rocked.
Frank, that was very poor officiating. I wouldn't, say anything unless I thought so. But Craig was hit. He was down, and number 86, I believe, Digitano, went right over him when he was on the ground. There wasn't a flag in sight. But it was a good sweep as the Garnet had good blocking for Craig.
Craig goes to the 15-yard line where it will be second and 6.5. Summerton sets, rolls right, he throws, and it is almost complete, but then dropped by Fred Montgomery on the 10-yard line. So it will be third and 6 for the Garnet. They've been moving the scoreboard clock around now, and if it's correct, we now have 4 minutes to go in the first half with the score Swarthmore 7, F&M 6.
Taylor Cope comes in for Dick Heyman. Now Johnson throwing short passes, sort of looping them into the secondary. He may now head fake to his right and throw a pass into the left side. We'll see.
Third down on the 15. Backfield, shifts left as Burton goes into the slot. Summerton rolls right, good pursuit being put on. He gets it away complete to Fred Montgomery at the 12-yard line, and he is tackled on the 11 by number 26, Phil Wyan, covering on the left side. And that will make it fourth down and about 2.5 to go. And it looks like we're going to have a field goal attempt here as McCurdy goes into the game for Craig Martin. And Summerton is out with Nathan Way into hold. The ball is on the right side, so Dick is going to have a pretty good angle. Ball is placed down on the 18. The kick is up, and it looks good. It is. Field goal Swarthmore, and that is the first Swarthmore field goal that I know that they have gotten in 4 years. I don't know how much before that. And the score now with 3 minutes, 25 seconds left in the first half is Swarthmore 10, Franklin and Marshall 6. McCurdy, kick the fuse there, Mike.
Yes, Dick looked very good, and that's a big help right now because we know they have a field goal kicker, and now they have to score to go ahead, a touchdown.
Various football scores from the World Series score were announced here, and they drew quite a response. Incidentally, in the first quarter, 7-0 Penn State over UCLA. McCurdy set to kick. This one is very high and will come down on about the 15-yard line where it's taken by Brunetti. Cuts to the left sideline to the 30-yard line and is driven out across the 35 by the kicker, McCurdy. And they're going to spot the ball for Franklin and Marshall on their own 36-yard line. About a 20-yard return for Brunetti. And it will be first and 10 for the Diplomat.
We have several scores here. Michigan State 7, Wisconsin nothing in the first half. 10-14 Brown nothing, and William & Mary 16, BMI 7.
Archie Alexander comes in motion to the right for the Diplomat. Corns, call signal. Hands off to number 26, Phil Wyandotte at halfback who busts forward over a tremendous hole. Goes across the 35 and up to the 38-yard line. Stop finally made by Chip Burton.
Number 51, Buck Buchanan, is in the Garnet defensive line, I believe, also, Frank, on this series. But that was the hardest run of the day by anybody. He really wanted those yards.
They exploded out of the backfield, and now it will be second down, 3.5 to go for F&M. Alexander comes in motion to the left. Corns throws out on the right side, complete to Rusty Ward at 45. Then goes up near midfield, tackled by John Burden, Jerry Whitson, and Chris King. They spot the ball on the 48-yard line. That'll be a first and 10 F&M.
Frank, he's been throwing these short little flare-out passes. He may fake that one of these times, just flip it right over the middle.
Diplomats are moving now as Alexander comes in motion to the left. Corns on a long count, hands off to Wyan. He goes over left guard and goes right up to midfield. Buchanan is in there on the tackle. We have, according to the scoreboard, 2 minutes to go in the first half. The score Swarthmore 10, Franklin and Marshall 6. And they're putting the ball down on the Swarthmore 49-yard line where it will be second down, 7 to go. The Diplomats out of their huddle. Corn set, calls his signals. Hands off to Wyand again. He goes to the 46-yard line of Swarthmore. Eric Slumberg in there on that tackle.
Frank, I think F&M used a new formation. Well, Swarthmore has won the cross-country, if we can interrupt here, 22-39 against F&M. So a good start for the Garnet Harriers. Score there was 22-39. All right, here's F&M to the line of scrimmage.
Ball's on the 47, third down, 5 to go. Corn calls signals, goes straight back to pass. Looking out on the left side, throws and it is complete to Rusty Ward. Over the outstretched arms of Dick Kamen, and Ward is driven out of bounds by Chip Burton at the 40-yard line, the 38-yard line. Kamen was looking for an interception on that, and it was thrown just a little bit out of his reach.
Frank, on the play before this, they went into an I formation, and now they shifted back to an overbalance to the left on that play. And I think they may just go right back to the right side here. They seem to have a pattern, right-left now. And they certainly have the room over there. But one of these days, I think one of our linebackers may just get in the way.
Diplomats will have it first and 10 on the Swarthmore 38. They are on the move. Swarthmore defense digging in as F&M breaks from the huddle. Corns to the line of scrimmage. He has sideline left, lots and lots of running room right. He goes straight back to pass. He's looking for a tight end, number 82, Russ Bokenkroger, and he has it. He has it on the 31-yard line, tackled immediately by Weinstein. 50 seconds to go in the half, and F&M lines up without a huddle. Corn throws to Ward, who goes out of bounds at the 29-yard line, and they stop the clock, and they got a little bit of yardage also. Clock stopped with 41 seconds to go in the first half. Mike?
F&M has had very good timing on their patterns. That ball is arriving at precisely when the receiver is making his move and when he is open. On Andy's play, he hit him just after he caught it. It was perfect timing. They look very sharp, and I think they will stay in the air.
Third down for F&M on the 29.5-yard line. As Corns takes it, rolls right and throws overthrown, intended for Wyan, the halfback, and is way, way out of his reach. He was covered very well on the play.
Actually, Jerry Whitson is upset on that. He was overthrown, and Whitson had a chance for a leaping interception, and he could have gone all the way down the far sideline, but he just couldn't quite grab that ball. It was off his fingertips. So now the pressure is on a fourth down play. I'm not aware of the timeout situation because obviously it isn't posted, but they must have one timeout left.
Ball is spotted on the 29.5, fourth and 1.5. Corn rolls right, looks to throw long over the middle, intended for Jim O'Brien. Chip Burton cuts in front of him, almost intercepts the ball. At least he knocks it down. Swarthmore will take over on down on their own 30-yard line.
Pretty clear on that. They wanted an isolation over the middle, and Chip was there, and he did the one thing he could do, is that dive in front of him on the play. Good timing by Chip Burton. Saves the Garnet here. Now, last week, Somerton went for broke in a situation like this. Let's see if he's going to grind it out for the last 30 seconds.
Backfield shifts right, Somerton hands to his fullback Weinstein. Andy running very well across the 35-yard line, across the 40 now, and up to the 42-yard line. Swarthmore calls timeout with 25 seconds to go. Tackle on the play by Bill Narakis, and that was Andy's best run of the year.
He looked very strong on it. Well, he got some running room, really. He's been in the situations where he just gets hit once, twice, 3 times right away. But there they got him a hole over left guard, I believe. And he ran very well.
That was a 13-yard rush by Weinstein, and it will be first and 10 Swarthmore on the 42-yard line. Time still out on the field. According to the scoreboard clock, 25 seconds left in the first half. At the moment, it's Swarthmore 10, Franklin, and Marshall 6. Mike?
Out in St. Louis, the Cardinals have knocked out Gary Bell, and in the top of the third, the score is 3-0 in favor of St. Louis. The band is in the far end zone where the Garnet is reaching. I hope they can put one in the tubas here late in the first half. So here we go, back to the action.
First and 10 Swarthmore on their own 42. Backfield shifts to the right. Summerton calls signals, fakes a pass. A great draw to Weinstein. He has lots of running room. He's across the 45, across midfield, still on his feet to the Franklin and Marshall 46. And timeout is called again by the Garnet. This will be another first and 10 on the Franklin and Marshall 46-yard line. A pickup of 12 on that play. So Weinstein rushes twice on the draw and has 25 yards. Tackle on the play by Lou DiGiattano. And Summerton's fake is just amazing. He was standing there very casually, walking back with the ball in his hip, and at the last minute he gave it to Weinstein. And it takes a lot of good faking, you have to admit, to pull this F&M linebacker through, and that time he did it.
As John has been consistently very good over the past few years, and he seems better than ever this year. All right, here we go.
Swarthmore 46.5 yards away from the goal line with 14 seconds left in the first half. First and 10. Summerton set under center. Backfield shifts left. Burton goes into the slot. Summerton goes back. He's going straight back. He wants to throw, but he's tackled for a big loss by number 84, Frank DiGenova. And the clock is stopped now with about 9 seconds left in the half. He is tackled back in Swarthmore territory at the 43.
Frank, the Garnet ran into a prevent defense there where they had 3 men on Chip Burton, 2 men on the flanker back Heyman. And that's the half as the Garnet, with that loss, let the clock run out. So the score at half is Swarthmore 10, F&M 6. The teams are now heading off the field. That was a pretty good first half. We'll have a wrap-up of some of the key plays in the first half momentarily. Should be a very big halftime show, as there are, I'd estimate, 4,000 or 5,000 people here on homecoming day for F&M. The band now is coming out onto the field, and we should have a pretty good show. Before the game, the homecoming queen and her court came in on some very fancy cars around the track, and they played the school alma mater and everything like that. And for a Swarthmore student, that's a rare sight to see something like this at a football game. So Frank, you have some wrap-up of the first half.
Okay, here's a scoring summary of that first half. Swarthmore scored first with 8 minutes gone in the first quarter as Chip Burton took a very short F&M punt on the F&M 41, ran it to the 15-yard line, 3 running plays, and a pair of passes, the last one being a 4-yarder from Summerton to Chip Burton. Gave the Garnet a touchdown. Dick McCurdy kicked the extra point, and Swarthmore led 7-0 with 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Franklin and Marshall came right back to score their touchdown with 3:45 left in the first quarter. As Chip Burton fumbled on his own 34-yard line, it was recovered by the Diplomats. On the first play, there was a pass all the way to the 9-yard line from D.J. Korn to R.C. Alexander, and the pair of sweeps by the fullback Al Stone, one to the right and one to the left, brought it in. The attempt for the extra point by Max Schnellball went wide left, and it was 7-6 Swarthmore. And the Garnet wrapped up the scoring in the second quarter as with 3:25 left in the first half. Dick McCurdy made a field goal, converting it from about the 18-yard line. And that play climaxed the drive that went all the way from the Swarthmore 38-yard line. So, the score at halftime is Swarthmore 10, Franklin and Marshall 6. We'll hope to have official statistics for you and a few other goodies when we come back after halftime. But right now, I believe we'll send you back to the studio for some halftime entertainment. It's going to be a rather short halftime send-off. Don't go away because we'll be back in 8 minutes. Hello again, everyone. This is Frank Brown along with Mike Halpern speaking to you from Williamson Field at Franklin and Marshall College. The halftime score in this football game is Swarthmore 10, F&M 6. And right now, just seeing F&M's homecoming, they've got a good show put on by the band, and we'll let you pick up on that for a while. Oh, we have some official first statistics on the first half that was just given to us by Randy Larimore. And the reason follows Swarthmore has dominated the game somewhat, but it hasn't been a very offensive game. Swarthmore has picked up 31 yards rushing. F&M has 27. Cash and John Summerton has completed 10 of 13 for 106 yards. For F&M, Corn completed 10 of 15 for 74 yards. So net, Franklin Marshall has 101 yards. Swarthmore has 137. Leading ball carrier for Swarthmore's Andy Weinstein, who's carried 6 times for 30 yards, while Al Stone, the Diplomat fullback, has carried 7 times for 17 yards. Swarthmore has gotten 9 first downs to 5 for F&M, and 4 penalties called on the Garnet zone with 40 yards, 5 on the Diplomat, totaling 25 yards. And if you add these statistics, these first half statistics into Summerton, that's the compiled up to Dickinson this season, he has completed 15 out of 20 passes. You can't ask for a heck of a lot better performance than that. He has passed for 242 yards, no interceptions, and John is having another excellent game with safety, but it's not making quite the dent in this excellent Diplomat defense that it did up at Dickinson. Mike, do we have any further scores on football or on the World Series?
Well, in football, UCI and Villanova are 0-0 in the first half. Maryland and Syracuse are 0-0. And UCLA and Penn State are tied up 0-0 also. The World Series, the last thing we heard was the Cardinals were ahead 3-0 with Mike Shannon's 2-run home run being the additional 2 runs. The Garnet and Diplomats are back on the field. We'll be getting ready for the kickoff in a couple of minutes. Very big crowd here at F&M Gala occasion for them. And so far the game has been one where the Garnet got off just like they did last week. And they were stalled by some very aggressive play by F&M. I think really the second half will be a test of the Garnet team, whether they will come on in this adversity. In other words, they have to stop and the momentum has gone the other way. Whether they can come off of it and play a strong second half to win the football game, or whether it'll just be a stall for the entire day. That's a good team for them. I think that they can come back when they are down in a game, when things have gone against them. So it should be very interesting for the entire remainder of the season whether Garnet can come up with a good second half here at Lancaster. Both teams are now huddling, and the Garnet breaks out first onto the field. I believe we received it from Penn, don't we? We received the kickoff. F&M will be going from left to right as you see it here. Craig Martin, Bobby Clark, Chip Burton will be the 3 deep receivers for the Garnet. We're all set for our second half. The score right now is Swarthmore 10, F&M 6.
Eddie has the ball teed up to the diplomat. He's to Swarthmore, reading left to right, Chipper, Bobby Clark, and Craig Martin. And we're ready with the second half. So far, Swarthmore 10, F&M 6. The kick is a real feud. Drives Clark down to the 12-yard line. Right up the middle to the 15. Cuts left and is tackled on the 19-yard line by number 71, Mike Walker. And the Garnet will pick up first and 10, 12 minutes to the yard line, and that is 24.
It's interesting to see if Sean goes back to Weinstein here and he's open up late in the first half, but that may be because they were dropping back.
Summerton on a quick count, hands off to Weinstein. Lurk goes over left tackle, and Chip goes across the 25-yard line, pushes forward to the 27, a pickup on the play of 3 yards, will be second and 7. And Summerton calls a quick huddle, brings them right out to the line of scrimmage. That's that John calls the signals, backfield moves left. Burton goes into the slot. Summerton turns around, hands to Chip Burton on a scissors play coming around. Chip goes up to the 30-yard line and falls across to the 31, tackle on the play by Pete Carver, also Al Dubois. They ran that scissors play with Burton a lot of digits, and it was very, very successful. As Chip in that game picked up 93 yards. Now third down and 4 to go. Backfield, Chip right. Summerton fakes, hands off to Weinstein on the draw, and he is really engulfed at about the 28-yard line by Bill Naraka. Racked him up.
John had Craig Martin flanked on the right and flanker Taylor Cope flanked on the left. They looked both ways, fake nicely. It was good setup for the draw, but Yarko took wide, he's a good linebacker, and wrapped him up right away. So it's a kicking situation for the Garnet.
John Summerton standing on about his 19-yard line. Seems to receive his Dunbar. The kick is away, and it is taken by number 26 Wyand at 45 across midfield, goes to the left sideline, fumbles, that's a midfield strike, and Swarthmore, I believe, has it. Let's see who turns up with the ball. I believe Taylor Cook is the man recovering that fumble. The ball squirted back on the fumble, so Swarthmore's ball to Franklin and Marshall. 47, big break for the Garnet. And it's first and 10 Swarthmore from the 47-yard line. Burton goes into the slot. Cayman split out left. Summerton goes back. Good fake. Throws out on the left side. And it is almost intercepted by Dunbar, cutting in front of the intended receiver, Chip Burton, at about the 35-yard line.
I thought that Chip did a very good job bringing that pass play, as it would have been an interception otherwise. On that play, the F&M linebackers stacked it very close on the right side where the Garnet was strong. Summerton called a good play, but it seemed like the defense had reacted very well to his call. Again, those linebackers really must have been done.
Second and 10 Garnet on the F&M 47-yard line. Summerton set, rolls right, throws on the right sideline, complete to number 83 Taylor Cope. 87 Dick Heyman. Split end, it came all the way across, and the ball is now on the 40-yard line. Swarthmore pick up on the play of 8 yards, so it will be third down and a long two for the Garnet. We have lots of room on the left sideline to the right. Summerton false signal. Burton goes into the slot. Cayman split out left. Handoff goes to Craig Mark, turning the left side. He gets the running room across the 40 down to the 37-yard line approximately. Well, they let him. They said he made it to the 36 before it was rocked back. Tackled by Bill Narakis, also Harold Dunbar, picking up the defensive halfback. And that's the first and 10 Swarthmore on the 36-yard line. Swarthmore quickly out of the huddle. Summerton on a quick count, Gifford goes over left tackle, goes across the 35-yard line to the 34, where it will be a second and 8. Lucy Chitano, take the stop.
Frank, on that pass play before Dexter Farley was injured, he's being administered to on the far sideline. Fred Montgomery is now in the position.
Damon splits left Summers and bootlegs to the right. He's across the 35-yard line and pulled down at the 34 at the line of scrimmage by Andy Sipperly, who put on excellent pursuit.
Yes, he did, Frank. He caught up with John from behind. Taylor Coke now comes in as flanker for Dick Heyman. I think this would be a good spot for John to come up with something like a pass to Andy Weinstein, which he tried earlier, but he made it for a punt.
Summers then throws, and it's intercepted at the 28-yard line by the left side linebacker. Rockets, is it? Yeah, Bill Narakis makes the interception, intended for Mark, thrown a little bit behind him. Then John's first interception of the year. F&M picks over first and 10 on their own 29-yard line. Mike? No time on that one. And so first and 10 Diplomats from 29. Archie Alexander comes in motion to the right side. Handoff goes to the fullback, Stone. He goes across the 30-yard line. And he fights it forward to the 33 or 34-yard line.
Frank Buck Buchanan is now in on defense, and Bobby Carson's out. So now number 29. Al Douglas comes in defensive backfield also, replacing Chip Burton, I believe.
Second and a long five for F&M to the 33. Corn throws quickly on the right side, intended for Rusty Ward, and it goes out of his hand. Cope sides for it, but he traps it out of bounds to the ball towards just a rather exciting incompletion.
Everybody had a shot at that. There were three people who had a possession of it and finally wriggle loose. I think again we'll probably see F&M come to their right as they have all game long.
They have their running to the right sideline, to the left. Ward looks out to the right side. Archie Alexander comes in motion to the left. Long pass by Corn. Turns to the rat. I believe the ball might have been fumbled on the handoff to the fullback, Stone. And F&M's ball, apparently. But it will be fourth down and punting situation. And it will be fourth and 5, ball on the 34-yard line. Eddie will punt for a zone 22-yard line. And fourth one, Craig Martin. Standing on his own 30 single safety. A long time getting the kick away, but it's a few. Craig fades back to 25. Moves up to the 30. He's in trouble. Tries to move around to the left side. The 25 slips and is brought down on the 27-yard line. Stop on the play by number 26, Bill Lyons. A lot of running by Craig, but he only managed to advance the ball to the 28-yard line where it will be first and fourth one.
Okay, there's 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes showing on the clock in this third quarter. Dick McCurdy come into the backfield in place of Craig Martin.
Handoff goes to McCurdy, trying to turn the left side. He's up to the 30, breaks the tackle, and is finally brought down by Dunbar at the 34-yard line. And number 32, Max Snowbook, is dropped by falling on him. Score is Swarthmore 10, Franklin and Marshall 6. We have about 9.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Bill Barton is now in a tight end. Swarthmore, Taylor Cook split out left backfield, shift to the right. Summerton fakes, throws, headed for Cope across the middle, batted down, almost intercepted by Bill Narakis.
Well, we've gone to that play a lot of times, and that one, boy, there were three F&M callers waiting for that. Blumberg is limping off to the far sideline, and I believe Northrop came in to replace him on the offensive line. So injuries beginning to mount up for the Garnet.
Strike Kevin Northrop in at left guard. Swarthmore has a third and 4 on the 33-yard line. Summerton rolling right. He's got pressure put on him, but he throws it complete to Weinstein at the 35-yard line, ending his down at about the 37. And he is hurt on the play. I think he must have win that out. Flying their time is out on the field. I believe those were Rockets. Or they may have taken the helmet. Time's out on the field. 9 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third quarter. The score is Swarthmore 10, Franklin and Marshall 6.
Danny caught something in the face on that one. But he's all right now. He's walking back to the huddle. And it'll be a fourth down situation with about a yard to go for the Garnet. Somebody looking over where the ball is along with the referee. Over towards the sideline where the yards are. Now Fred Montgomery comes into the game as tight end replacing number 85 Bill Martin. Somerton will face back in the game.
John Woodbury up at the 25-yard line. Gets the punt away, fast away from Rusty Ward. There'll be no run back with the ball down by Taylor Cope on the 22-yard line. F&M will take over on their own 22, first and 10.
Good punt by John. As he mentioned on the pregame show, he likes those line drive kicks that will bounce. That kicked it away from the single safety very well. So now the Garnet has to dig in on defense. Joe Kelly has taken Blumberg's place on the defense line. Everybody else seems to do the same thing.
First pitch to 22, and Ford Jim to halfback. Dunbar goes over right tackle to the 25-yard line, so the second and 7 that goes for F&M. Center Ed Gallagher leads the team out of the huddle. Horn set split out on the left side is Rusty Ward. Alexander comes in motion to the right. And Horn is bootlegging around the left side. He's across the 25-yard line. Taylor Cope pursues him. He goes across the 30 and goes out of bounds finally at about the 35. Cope chased him all the way, but he couldn't get to him.
Bobby Clark also was chasing him further back. They both couldn't catch up with him until he turned up the field for the first down. We have about 8:15 showing on the clock now in the third quarter.
And that play hitter doesn't have first down, so first 10 to 35. Horn throws quickly out onto the right side to Rusty Ward. He has it tackled immediately. Rusty Ward has tackled on the 43-yard line by Taylor Cope, Jerry Winston, John Burton, and a few other Garnet players. He had a lot of weight going on top of him. They'll make it second down and 3 to go from the 42-yard line. Ford sets, calls the signals. Ward out on the left side. Handoff goes to Wine, the halfback. Wine goes over right guard, goes up to the 46-yard line. Stop on the play by Montgomery, King, Clark.
It'll be a crucial series of downs for the Garnet here, as that was a first down. And F&M is getting into Garnet territory here. They're only 3 yards away. And again, they have to stop F&M from establishing some momentum here. The Garnet has the lead 10-6 midway through the third period.
First and 10 to the 47-yard line. Ford set. Nobody's covered. Now he's running to the left, and he throws long. Intended for Ward. Incomplete. And Taylor Cope missed on a chance for an interception. And Ford was late on his release. Threw short because Ward had a step on him, but he had to stop and wait for the ball. And that gave time for Cope, Winston, and Burton all to get around him. So the pass was incomplete. A better pass might have been disaster for him.
Right, we have some other scores. Princeton 21, Columbia 14.5, Penn State 7, UCLA nothing. There's a big one. Michigan State 14, Wisconsin 7, Penn 14, Brown nothing.
Second and 10 for Swarthmore. Up for F&M rather. Corn throws across the middle to Jim O'Brien. O'Brien has him coming across the 40 in full stride and goes to the 32-yard line. Jerry Winston finally brings him down. I believe that is O'Brien's first reception of the day, and he was the leading receiver on the freshman team last year. And he looks like he had a good pair of hands on that play, Mike.
He just simply split the middle of the Garnet defense there with a quick one. And he's getting a lot of time. And we stressed that in the first half, that only on one occasion did the Garnet apply pressure. And there, he's just standing back there. In this series, he can do what he wants with the football. And it's up to the Garnet line, really, to start facing him, making him throw when he doesn't want to. Because he can stand there all day and pick that secondary apart.
While this is pausing the action, I might mention that Burton was named to last week's UCA Division III Team of the Week in sophomore for his outstanding performance in Dickinson. In that game, he rushed for team times for 93 yards, caught two passes for 86 yards, completed 3 of 3 on the opposite, 43 yards and a touchdown. He scored 3 touchdowns himself. Time is out on the field with 6 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Scores Swarthmore 10, Franklin and Martin systematic drive pass for 10 on the Swarthmore 33-yard line.
Blumberg is back in on the defensive line, replacing John Logan.
Horn set calls and signals as O'Brien comes in motion to the left. Long count, Horn rolling to the right, and he is stopped for a 1-yard loss on the 34-yard line by Fred Montgomery and Chris King.
Garnet hit hard on that play and jammed up the right side very well. A good charge on the line. You probably now, he may throw back to the left on this play, I think, Frank.
Second and 11 for Franklin and Marshall from the 34-yard line. Corn set, call signal, goes straight back to throw. He's looking to the left side, and it's complete to Rusty Ward at the 26. He's tackled immediately by Chip Burke. And it's called that one, Mike. That will be a third down with about 2 to go. Well, 3 to go. And Ford made a good reception there. Chip Burton was right on it and brought him down immediately. The ball is now on the 26.5-yard line of Swarthmore. Big play for F&M. Corn pulse signals, rolls right. He's throwing out on the right side, complete to Bill Wyan at the 25. Falls forward and tackled immediately by Whitson and Fred Montgomery. And that's going to be short of a first down by about a yard. Well, now they move it up to the 24 and they're going to measure.
I think he's still short, Frank. Corn's been mixing up the fight very well, going both sidelines, throwing a pretty good game, going up the middle when you don't expect it. We have some other scores. Notre Dame 14, Iowa nothing. Western Michigan 7, Bowling Green nothing. The World Series 3 to nothing in the 5th inning. St. Louis ahead. Now here we have a very big play. You think he'll go with that big pullback off tackle, or will he keep it himself?
I think if he goes to the fullback, then I decide to go on complete. Rather than go right, he doesn't pick up the left 3-yarder. They've never been thrown for a loss on that. Fourth and 1. Martin set, completely called it conservatively. So Brian comes goes to the right, sideline is to the right. Handoff goes to the fullback, Stone on the sweep right. He is in the open. And it's going to go 10 to 5. Touchdown. Stone on the power sweep right. And with 5 minutes and 15 seconds left in the third quarter, Franklin and Marshall takes the lead for the first time, 12-10.
There's a case where you had a lot of men on the line of scrimmage, and he was stopped at the line of scrimmage, bounced off, and there was just nobody left in the secondary. He went all the way. And F&M leads 12-10. There was a little extracurricular activity as the quarterback slipped on Fred Montgomery. Taylor Coates took a shot at it. We'll see what develops there. But now the extra point try, very important one here, coming up.
That's often the fear of defensive coaches when you have 9 men on the line and break the tackle, it's gone. That's what happens.
Elbow comes in place of O'Brien, and they're not going to go for a 2-point conversion. And number 44 Permetti really has to stick to get out of there in time. Horn rolls to the right, and on tries to pitch out of the desperation play, and it's no good. As he pitches the broken throw, goes down on the spree, and so scores Franco Marshall 12, Swarthmore 10. Mike?
Andy Weinstein broke that up. He came in from the right side and chased Horns all the way to toward the left sideline, and he just made him get rid of that ball. Weinstein was just faster than the quarterback on that play. Now the Garnet has to come from behind in this ball game.
F&M 10 plays to drive 78 yards that time. And they mixed up their running defense very well with touchdown play. 24 yard power sweep to the right side by fullback Al Stone is having quite a good afternoon. Bernetti sees up the ball for the Diplomat. Again, we have Chip Burke and Bobby Clark and Frank Martin standing around on their own 15-yard line waiting to receive the Garnet. The kick is going to be short, taken by Martin on the run at the 20, to the 25, to the 30. Hit hard as it comes across the 35 and driven down. And we'll call first and switch Swarthmore on their own 35, and F&M is really fired up now, Mike.
I think it was Craig who was shaking up on the play. The Garnet player is down. Yeah, F&M is taking a lot of heart in that touchdown. Again, all the players on their bench standing up. Is that Craig? Right? It's hard to tell from over here. It appears to be a legacy. Martin. Yeah, it is a legacy. And it doesn't look too good. I don't think Craig will be back today. They're helping him off the field. 2 round of applause. Big loss for the run, and then Craig is out for any period of time. He's the right man.
Very, very careful now with that left. We see a pitch for Swarthmore now. Craig plays 6 McCurdy. Sumner comes to the line of scrimmage, calls the signal. Fans to McCurdy trying to sweep around the left side. He's got running room as he is across the 35-yard line, and across the 40, and up to the 42. Tackled by Bill Garakis and Andy Sipperlich. It'll be second and 1 for Swarthmore 43, Mike.
Injuries beginning to pile up. Number 86 for Franco Marshall. Cano, who's been in on a lot of tackles, is now out of the game. He was hurt on the play. And Dunbar, 41, was also hurt coming off.
Placed by 85 Reese. Summerton hands to McCurdy again, goes over the right tackle up to the 45 for the first down. Tackle on the play by Al Dubois. Still working on Martin on the far sideline. They have them laid out on the ground. It's hard to tell what they're doing. Meantime, Swarthmore comes to the line and comes first and 10 to the 45. Summerton bootlegs to the right. Good for Superman. He turns the corner though. He's across midfield. And into F&M territory to their 46-yard line. Where he's attacked by Bill Wyatt and Jeff Warford to the sideline. Finally got him.
Bootleg by John Summerton. Garnet's now coming back. We're into F&M territory. Second and 1.
From the F&M 46, number call, signal, first, moves into the slot. Takes the split out left Summerton, and quickly to Andy Weinstein, fullback, who goes forward for perhaps 1 yard to the 45-yard line. I believe he has the first down. It's too close. First down to 44 and a half, and it's the first down to Swarthmore. We're called on the 44-yard line, first and 10.
Dunbar comes back into the F&M defensive backfield, replacing Rick Thompson.
Sumner brings the team to the line of scrimmage. Ball signals and hands to McCurdy on the 37-yard line. Stop on the play by 30 seconds. No ball at 84 Frankie.
F&M has called a timeout here. It's under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. They lead 12-10. Garnet has been sweeping very well to the left side. McCurdy's running very well, although he does shift hands to shift the ball. And if he hit it any time during that shift, we're going to find a loose football. That's something to watch for. John has not looked through his flanker in quite a while, and I've been noticing that when Heyman goes out, he's got one-on-one coverage. You know, he mentioned John didn't think that anybody could cover flanker one-on-one. So we'll have to see what happens right here. I think they were focused on the flanker.
I've been watching the bench. They now brought Craig Martin up to the bench. They have to sit here. They have the right leg propped up. They don't want to bend that thing. They have to still stock off. And sitting there, they just want the rest of the bench. But the way they're taking care not to bend that thing makes it pretty serious.
Well, we got more business in hand right here. Garnet comes to line.
Second down from the 37-yard line. Ferguson sits on the spot. Handoff goes into the 30. This time he doesn't have any opening. He stands right at the line of scrimmage. Back on the play by Du Bois and Bill Miraculous, also Andy Sickle. They're really ganged up on six there. There will be third down and free to go from the 37-yard line. F&M. Swarthmore has to keep the drive going here as they now trail 12-10. The third quarter, there are 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Backfield shifts to the right. Somerton rolls right, throws across the middle, complete to number 88, Dexter Farley. And Farley goes to the 24-yard line where he is tackled by Bill Miraculous. Farley making another good catch in heavy traffic.
John rolled right, he had heavy pressure, but he hit Farley cutting across the middle from the tight right end spot. Good play by the Garnet first down.
10 Garnet from the 24-yard line. Somerton rolls right, looking to throw. Now he's going to run with the ball, and he's brought down on the 23 for a pickup of 1 yard. Miraculous on the tackle. And the names of the F&M linebackers is getting pretty familiar now.
Well, Pete Carver, number 53, one of those linebackers, he just lifted off number 44. John Brunetti, very fast man, who's taking the place in the backfield. I think John may start looking for that flanker back. I really do.
Second down, 9 to go on the 23-yard line. Somerton, good fake, throws. He has Chip Burton free across the middle. Chip has it, drives forward and attempts it at the 6-yard line. And it will be first and goal. Swarthmore in the Franklin and Marshall 6.
Burton coming out of the backfield did it earlier in the first half, if you remember. That was a key pass. He did it again right there. But I don't know if that was a pattern because Taylor Cope was right there also.
Now Cope goes up. Nick Kamen in a split end. Running room left sideline right. Kamen split wide. Handoff goes to McCurdy. Turning to the left side. He's across the 5. Still on his feet in for the touchdown. Nick McCurdy running very, very well this past 2 games. And it's now Swarthmore 16, F&M 12 with approximately 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Very good run by Jake. He really uses his interference. He doesn't make a move until he sees some opening. And the telltale on that was Yarko's face down on the 5. No tackle. Touchdown.
Now McCurdy will try to kick way into the hole. Signal called ball, place down, snap, the kick is up. And no good as it goes wide to the right side. It was pretty close, but wide to the right. But now Swarthmore 16, Franklin Marshall 12. Neither team has had very much success on the point.
Well, the Garnet came back in a hurry here as they lost the lead. But they came back with a very good drive. Somerton's quarterbacking them all the way. With a 30 sweeps around the left side being the team back.
That drive went 65 yards and 10 plays. The next 30 did a lot of carries there. Picked up 23 yards. 6-yard run for the touchdown. And he also took the extra point. So it's a one-man crew. Now he's going to kick off. The kick is a high kick going to be taken by Wyatt at the 10. Goes up the middle, the 15 to the 20, 25-yard line. And he's down at the 27-yard line. The 28. Tackle play Jerry Woods with Fred Montgomery. And it will be first and 10 F&M on their own 28. With only seconds remaining in the third quarter, according to the scoreboard. Fox is scoring now. Swarthmore 16, 12. Quite a football game here. Scoring Texas Alexander moves to the right. Ball signal. Hence to the right halfback Wyatt. Goes over left guard. Goes perhaps 1 yard. Tackle on the play by Weinstein.
Good defensive play by Andy. He cut right through, hit the ball carrier before he had one leg going. That could be the last play of the quarter. I think will be talking it all accurate, and it is. That's the end of the third quarter. The score: Swarthmore 16, F&M 12. We have some other scores for you. Lehigh 7, Rutgers nothing, Cornell 3, Colgate nothing, Penn State 7, UCLA still nothing. That's pushing up to I think Richmond State 14, Wisconsin 7, Kaiser State winning. North Carolina 7, Vanderbilt 7. Last we heard on the series it was 3-1. 6 minutes. St. Louis over Boston. We'll let you know as we score the
Next stop here. And now second down, 9 to go from the 29 for F&M. Horn throws long on the left side. Ward hacks on the open in midfield. It's to the 30, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, 5 and touchdown. Rusty Ward on a 71-yard pass play. As he was wide open on the left sideline and ran right through the Swarthmore secondary. And just like that, with 10 seconds gone in the fourth quarter, F&M is back on top, 18-16.
That's what they call a bomb. And it was a bomb, all right. There's nothing much you can say. He beat his man. There's nobody left. Horn faded to his right and threw deep down the left side. There was nobody between Ward and the goal line. Now they're going to try for 2 points on the extra point conversion. Horn bends over center. Paul signals. He rolls to his right. He's going to throw. He throws. And they have the 2 points as he hits Ward in the end zone, midway on the right side. And the score is now F&M 20, Swarthmore 16.
So drive to recap there, just one play. Well, 2 plays, 1 yard run, and a 79-yard pass play. Ward and Franklin and Mark really playing up with the nature of opposition today. This is definitely one of the most difficult, most rugged games we've been in. And that 15-game undefeated streak is very definitely dangerous. All fans up on both sides of the field. Bernetti steps to the kickoff. We now have Curtis Clark and McCurdy deep for Swarthmore. McCurdy's side trips back, takes it on the 9. Up to the 15, cuts to his left at the 15, and falls down, and it's covered immediately on the 20-yard line. On the 19-yard line, and Swarthmore will have a first and 10 right there. Swarthmore at the 19. F&M again really fired up. Summered it. Hands off to Burke. Chip drives. Drives up to the 20-yard line, and time is out. We have Bobby Clark. That's Bobby Clark in his first carry. They now Franklin and Marshall players down and out. Line up 21. Clark advanced at 2 yards. Goes to the second and 8 times out on the field. And the players are dropping like flies.
Garnet has been substituting quite a bit. It could be that the fellows are just getting tired here in the second half. The offense is actually getting stacked during the second half. The co-captain of the F&M team is Van Hurt, and Reno, I believe. 66, great. Who's hitting 12 tackles, doesn't make much difference. He hurt. But the Garnet looks very quiet. They're sitting on the bench while all the F&M players are standing. The Garnet players are taking one team whenever they can, and it could be that they're getting tired. So we have our back to the wall again. Let's see if John can pull us out.
Canada's having a rough afternoon. Let's go off on the last move. Yeah. And wonder if we'll be able to do that right now. We can't tell what's wrong. Now they're getting into a state, and it's going to have to be helped off. And it's another leg injury. I guess a good round of applause from the fans. It's coming up very slowly. The trainer helping. Swarthmore comes out of the 21. Second down, 8 to go. Bobby Clark in at halfback, and he takes the handoff. He's going around the right side. It's to the 25-yard line, and it's really clobbered on the 26-yard line. Andy Sipperly and number 70 Paul Kuzby on the tackle, also Bill Naraka. That'll be a pickup of 5 yards. This will be 3rd and 3 for Swarthmore on their own 26. 14 minutes left in the game. Franklin and Marshall 20, Swarthmore 16. Southern call signal, backfield shift right, 30 out on the right side. Handoff goes again to Clark, tries to cut over center, and he goes for about 1 yard to the 27, and that will set up a punting situation. 4th down. Time's out for measure, I don't believe he has it. Fred Montgomery goes into the game to put it second to Farley. Somerton going towards the sideline, having Blue Elvis. And ball on the 28-yard line. Sort of a first down, and it will be a punting situation.
Some hesitation on the Garnet side whether we're going to go for it, but 14 minutes to go. I don't think it's a good move. Somerton's now going to pay back in punting formation.
No, it's deep for S&M, and just want to make sure that we don't get a person down on the rush. They'll let the ball bounce where it goes. John gets the kick away. It's a beauty. And takes a good Swarthmore bounce. It's inside the 20, inside the 15, and rolling dead on the 14-yard line where Taylor Coates looks at it. It's picked up by Bill Wyatt. He goes down the sideline to the 30, 40, midfield. In the Swarthmore territory and out of bounds to the 40. Flag goes down at the 40-yard line.
There are all sorts of flags on that. Their bench was on they had the team on the field already. And Montgomery took an awful slip on that. He's really hurt. He is down and out. He's really hurt. But he was covering the ball and he just didn't tag it with his hand. That's all he had to do. And he was a goner for any sort of block on that, just standing there. And we're going to have 15 yards for a big penalty against F&M here. where the ball was. They were going way back. Can't go too far back. The ball was on the 14th. Montgomery can't help at all. He was bad at picking up on the play. So he seems to be able to walk off. All right. Now they're going to mark off the penalty against F&M half the distance to the goal line. I suppose that's too many men on the field. So it's on the 7. So Montgomery is out. Andy Weinstein is in there. And Al Douglas coming in also at linebacker.
First and 10, F&M from their own 7-yard line. Halfback goes flying and bucks up to the 10. Just to make sure that you understand what happened on that weird play. Summerton made an excellent run. F&M had no one seeing as the ball bounced, rolled in on the 14-yard line. Montgomery and Cope was standing over there watching it, so they got to touch the ball to make it dead. Go wide, picked it up, started racing down the sideline. After the F&M Davis got up and ran out of the field, Montgomery took the big one around the 15-yard line. Now it is second down and 7 for F&M to go on their own 10-yard line. Pitch goes to halfback Wyatt, tries to turn the corner, hurdles 2 men at the line of scrimmage, and goes to about the 11-yard line, takes it 12.
Very important here to Garnet holding on this play coming up because they have F&M deep in their own territory. If they get hold, they'll force a kick that will give them good field position. We'll also see what the loss of Montgomery can do.
Okay, it is third down and a long 5 for F&M on their own 12-yard line. And they're going to quick kick with this block. And it's Swarthmore's ball. Yes, Swarthmore ball on the 10-yard line. Let's see who recovered the ball. Sergeant tells Andy Weinstein and Eric Bloomberg and John Burton all fell on the ball. Halfback John Brunetti tried to make a quick kick on that, and it was very low and blocked at the line of scrimmage. I think Burton was the man to block it, and I'm not sure if it fell on the loose ball. Snap Swarthmore. First and 10 on the 10 1/2 yard line. Summerton, false signal. Hands off to Burton. He grabs the right side. He's inside the 5. Still on his feet and in for the touchdown. Excellent running by Chip Burton. And now Andy Weinstein's down, gets up slowly. He's okay, though.
Andy was terrific on that. He led Chip around there for a long way. Finally, Chip threaded his way just as he did last week. He changed the pace running and then corner of the end zone for the touchdown. Now, we have 12 minutes to go. 22 to 20 if you don't go away.
Okay, Swarthmore with the kick here. This is a very important point because F&M does have a field goal there. Ball plays down, Purdy kicks it, and it's good. It was partially deflected and almost didn't make it to the upright, but it just sort of floated over like a bird on half a wing. And it is 23 for Swarthmore, 20 for F&M.
Well, folks, I don't know if you've seen a bird with half a wing, but that was a football that was blocked by a lineman, and the ball was deflected to end over end as a result of the deflection. Passed approximately 10 feet, 6 inches over the goal line, and the crossbar is 10 feet, so we got 6 inches raised there. 23 to 20, 12 minutes to go, and it's a heck of a football. Purdy now will tee up the ball on the 40. Dunbar and Wine are deep for F&M to receive the kick.
And this way we may not have very many players left at the end of the game. There have been several going out on each series and not all of them returning. Purdy boosts the ball, a booming kick. It's going to be taken on the 5-yard line by Wyatt. He comes straight up to the 15, to the 20, 25, to the 30, down to the 31-yard line, then number 71, Mike Walker, really pulls into someone afterwards. Basillo, among others, in there in the stop.
I think it's just an indication of what a rough game this is. They're really knocking heads out there. You see the Garnet defense. Douglas is still in at that corner linebacker spot.
First and 10 for the Diplomats on their own 31-yard line. Alexander comes out to to the right side. DJ Corn, call signal. Hands off the Stone on the power sweep right. He goes to the 35-yard line. Stone running very well on that play. Stop is made by Taylor Cope, Jerry Whitson, and also Chris King. Well, he advances to the 36, so it will be 2nd and 5. Douglas has a rough assignment in that corner. Play for Montgomery. Corn throws to the left side, complete to Archie Alexander. Catches it at the 45-yard line. Drives forward near midfield. They'll put it down on the 49-yard line of Franklin and Marshall, and that's the 1st and 10 for the difference.
Fred Montgomery has come back at that linebacker spot. So let's see what the Garnet can do here.
Cornstead as Alexander comes in motion to the left side. Looks left now, hands off to Stone. Stone looks for a place to run. Breaks one tackle and goes over the right side to the 47. That was a busted play. He tried to go over center. He was stopped. But found the second effort and got 4 more yards.
I think that's what happened on a touchdown. He seemed to be stopped, and then suddenly he ran away, and there was nobody there. It almost happened to him. Corn's been going over the middle a lot more in this drive. Because the Garnet seems to be opening up on the middle and trouble with the last play.
2nd and 6 for F&M on the Swarthmore 47 Diplomats driving again. Corn sets call signals Alexander comes to motion to the right side. Handoff goes to Wyatt. And he goes to the line of scrimmage and perhaps gets a yard or 2 more. Tackle on the play by Weinstein. Well, it's spotted on the 44-yard line where it will be 3rd down and 3 to go. A big play here.
I think he might come to this left side here. You see down the route, staying away from the left pretty much. See what happens. But Douglas is back in at that corner on the right.
Time is a factor. There's 9 minutes 40 seconds left in the game. Swarthmore 23, F&M 20. Alexander comes in motion right. Corn pitches zone on the power sweep again. And he goes just for enough for the 1st down, I believe. He goes to about the 40-yard line. And Chris King is in there, that tackle off of Jerry Whitson. It's going to be very close, but I don't think he has the 1st down now. It's on 41 and 1/2 yard line.
Series now is 4-2 in the 7th down. It looks like they were just short. Yes, they're short by about a foot. Say a foot. And here we have, which might fall, a pretty big play from the Swarthmore 41 and a half. 9:20 showing on the clock. That's 9:20 left in the game. And you might think they'll go to that fullback.
F&M comes to the line of scrimmage. 4th down, about 1 foot to go. Swarthmore 41 and 1/2 yard line. They want this badly. Alexander comes in motion to the left. Corn's call signals. He gives the zone on the sweep left, and he is going to be stopped by Dick Haven. He goes forward, the ball is loose. Fumble, but after the play is blown dead, Haven fell on it, and I think he stopped him short of the 1st down.
What's crucial here is where the refs call the forward soccer. He was wrapping himself in a bear hung around him, and he sort of moved forward, and they waited, fumbled, they didn't call that. Let's see where it is. Here's the very crucial one. Did not make it. He missed by 3 inches, and Dick Kamen comes up with a big defensive play, and the Garnet takes over on their own 42.
David diagnosed that perfectly. There are now exactly 9 minutes left in the game. Swarthmore 23, Franklin and Marshall 20 as the Garnet has held on this series. In the backfield with Somerton, we have Bobby Clark, Weinstein, and McCurdy. No, it is Chris King in a fullback. Handoff goes to McCurdy, turning the left side with King leading the block. McCurdy gets only to about the line of scrimmage where he's driven out of bounds. Driven out by Bill Naraka. Now Blumberg comes off. And also Joe Keller. So we've got 2 new guards. also, I believe, north. Backfield, 50 to the left. Summerton makes the handoff to McCurdy, throws over the middle, incomplete. His attention for Clark is thrown way behind, and Clark was wide open.
So right on that play, John had Bobby Clark over the middle free, and he had Dexter Farley in the right flat, who was also free. But he threw behind Bobby over the middle. That was a good call, boy. They had a lot of yardage on that one. But it's a third down play, and he almost had to go to the air. And with 9 yards to go, it's almost
Buck Buchanan now in a tackle for John Logan. Summerton rolls right, throws across the middle. Dick Heyman makes the catch. Do they call it a catch or trap? It's a trap. It's a catch, rather. Great catch that Heyman had to dive for it. He came up with the ball on the F&N 46-yard line. First and 10 Swarthmore. Really clutch play.
Dick has come up with 2 plays in the last minute. That was a fine catch. Just got that off.
Well, it's right on the 47. First and 10 Swarthmore. The F&N 47 backfield shifts to the right. Summerton calls the signal. He hands to Bobby Clark, trying to turn the right side. He gets only to the line of scrimmage. As he is knocked down by number 74, Earl Devaney.
Franklin, one of the scissors plays doesn't work. I hate to be the halfback, but on that one, Clark really had no place to go. It's very important here with Garnet can't control the ball. It's more and more important. You can't sit on this big 3 points.
Clark being returning the backfield. Summerton rolls right, hits Dexter Farley, coming across the 40-yard line, and Dexter goes down to the 38-yard line, tackled by Bill Wyatt.
Simply on that play, faked to his fullback, stood right up, looked at Farley, and threw that ball, and Farley planted from the right end. Good execution of Farley within between the linebacker and the defensive halfback. We have a big 3rd and 1, and how many times has it been 3rd and 1 in the game of football?
Rick has gone both ways on these plays. Now Cope split out left the handoff, goes to King, I believe. Goes over the tackle and does not have the yardage. No correction. Now it's Clark, not King, and he gets half the distance that he needed for the first down. It'll be now 4th and half a yard.
Frank does a great dive play. I think John may try something a little different here, and he's got to get this first down.
John throws. Kenneth McCallum, Cope deflected, the ball's incomplete. Cope was sitting out there on the left side, and he was split towards the sideline. He took one step forward. The ball was thrown to him. It was deflected off an F&M line and then went out of Taylor's hand. It hit him on the shoulder on that deflection. Taylor was over his feet on. He didn't know where the ball was coming from.
Smart call by John. It's just too bad they didn't connect, and now the pressure is back on.
First and 10. F&M on their own 38-yard line. Horn throws out on the right side to Rusty Ward. He has it complete. That's the 36. That's the 41-yard line. Rather falls forward to about the 43. Swarthmore is now missing that first tackle. We'll be getting people on the second tackle.
Well, it's the same pattern again. They're just going out on the flat, and they're setting up that over the middle. They struck the ball twice now in the ball game.
2nd and 5 from the 43. 6 minutes, 10 seconds left in the game. Horn hands off to the halfback and fumbles the ball. John Burke falls on it. And the question is whether it's fumbled before it was dead. The whistle blows dead before it was fumbled by Alexander. Now Alexander drops off. So there's no pickup on that. It's 3rd and 5. 5 minutes, 40 seconds left in the game. Swarthmore 23, Franklin and Marshall 20. Horn set. Calls the signal. Squire goes into the slot. He rolls right. He throws, and it's complete for number 89, Jim O'Brien, who has it across midfield in Swarthmore territory. And he is stopped on the 47-yard line by Andy Weinstein. That's a 1st and 10 F&M.
Good play. Faded straight back with the drop back pass. He's got a lot of protection, a lot of time, and threaded the needle. Now the Garnet really has to hold here. Pressure will be on those linebackers.
Horn calls signals. Looking to throw on the left side. He throws. O'Brien has it at the 30 and is tackled immediately by Taylor Cope. But it's now on the 29-yard line. First and 10 F&M. O'Brien catching 2 in a row. Very nicely.
Again, Frank, Horns is getting a lot of time. You can thread the needle if you have time. He's sitting back there. Now Douglas goes out as the corner linebacker. Montgomery is back in. So we'll see if the Garnet can hold. They're 28.5 yards away from their own goal line.
Archie Alexander goes in and replaces Jim O'Brien. And F&M breaks to the line and ships back to the huddle. It's going to be close on whether they can get this play off in time. Horn call signals. Alexander goes in motion to the right. Pitch out goes to Stone on the power sweep right. He has blocking and he's down to the 27-yard line. Tackled by Chris King. And that will be a pickup of 2 yards for the second and 8. 3:50 left in the game. 23-20, Swarthmore.
Garnet has to watch the left flat again now. This is where the touchdown pass hurt him. And it's also where they have the most room. The ball is off on the right sideline. The pressure is definitely on the Garnet linebackers here.
Wyatt replaces Dunbar, right halfback. Horn ball signals 27-yard line. Goes straight back to pass, throws across on the right side, and it's intercepted by Dick Heyman on the 20. He's to the 30, he's on the 40, 45 midfield. He's going to go all the way, but the referees are blowing it back because when he intercepted, he was on one knee. College ball. That's the end of the play right there. The Swarthmore will take over on the 20.
We're going to hear about this from Dick Heyman, I'm sure. He's a touchdown, I didn't get it. But Mr. Heyman, for the third time in this fourth quarter, is the man on the spot. As he went to his DCN to intercept with a poor pass, Dick, the linebacker, who had to get in between, finally got in between. The Garnet had the ball, their own 20. 3 minutes, 20 seconds to go in this football game. We lead 23-20. John Summerton has a lot of responsibility here. We've got to hold on to the football.
Right back, John calls the signal. Backfield six left. He has Clark, King, and Purdy in the backfield. John fumbles the snap to the center. Falls forward, and he recovers it himself. So that's wasted down, and this will be second and 10. He fumbles, I believe the snap to the center.
I think Coach Elverson aged a few years on that play. The ball went straight up in the air, and there were all white jerseys and one maroon one, and that was the right one. So the Garnet really has to get us at least 2 first downs here.
Second and 10 from the 20-yard line. The backfield just to the right. Summerton calls the signal. Hands off to Bobby Clark, turning the right corner. He barrels forward to the 22 or 23-yard line. And number 65, Bill Duraka, takes the tackle. Bruce Helmet. 2 boys, I believe, also in on the stop. Also Earl Devaney.
Well, here's a tough decision for the quarterback. He's got to eat up time. Does he throw for the first down, or just go conservatively to the sweep play or something like that? Tough decision for Summerton.
3rd and 7 on the 23. The handoff goes to McCurdy, trying to turn the left side, and he only gets to the 25-yard line, or 26, before he is brought down by, it looks like the Rockets. So it's going to be a punting situation. 4th down and 4 to go on the 26-yard line. We now have 1:50 left in the game according to the scoreboard clock.
Bill Barton is coming to the line for Dexter Farley in his punting situation. And here's a crucial punt for John Summerton.
Dunbar stands back on his 38-yard line. Now it's a double safety. Wyatt drops back off. Summerton gets the punt away, angling it off to the right and bounces out of bounds on the 41-yard line. As Barton was right down there to cover it in case it bounced inbound. And it will be 1st and 10 F&M. They need to go 59 yards to score, and they have 1 minute 25 seconds left to work it.
Well, we'll find out whether this defense is as sturdy as the defenses of the past 2 years. They have all the pressure on him. They've got to make that quarterback hurry his passes.
Barnes quickly brings the team to the line of scrimmage. O'Brien in for Alexander. Moves out to The motion on the left. Ward catches the pass out to the right, flat on the 45-yard line. He goes up to the 48-yard line. Tackle on the play by Jerry Whitman. But that's a pickup of 7 on the play. F&M lines up without a huddle. 2nd and 3. Corn throws out of bounds to stop the clock. And it will be 3rd down and 3 to go with 1 minute 5 seconds left in the game. Score Swarthmore 23, F&M 20.
Frank, earlier in the first half, they tried one of those timeout plays. They got a yard this time, so they had to throw it away. I don't know how many timeouts they have left, but I don't see, wasting it down like that. They have to get a first down also. So here's a big 3rd down play. Again, the linebacker is going to tell the story.
Well, 3rd down now, 3.5 to go. Corn drops straight back to pass. He is the time, but he's now tackled by Dexter Farley, and Blumberg then falls on him back on the 36-yard line, and the fans think that Blumberg was piling on unnecessarily. But an excellent play by Dexter Farley. Corn had lots of time, couldn't find anyone free, and was tackled for a loss finally by Farley. With 40 seconds remaining in the game, F&M lines up quickly. They've got to go for it on 4th down. Corn goes straight back to pass. Everyone knows he's going to throw. He throws across the middle, incomplete, in and out of the hands of number 89, Tim O'Brien at the 45, and Swarthmore will take over on downs on the 37-yard line of F&M. Mike?
Well, the big play was Dexter Farley putting the pressure as Garnet hadn't done it. He's done it only once during the game. Farley came in, he got across his blocker, and he knocked the quarterback down. It was a big defensive play in the last series. Now that Garnet will probably run out the clock.
Fans start to file out now. Somerton calls signals at the 37, backfield with left. John takes it, running across the 35 down to the 33-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 6 to get another play off. Tackle off. Well, against about to tackle with Beatty now in at tight end. Number 81. And Dexter Farley takes a breather.
Time is out right now on the 2nd down situation. The Garnet managed to fall on the football. They were 23-20. And coming together here late in the game, you have to say. Had a lot of pressure on it. Heyman and then Farley.
Second and 6 fourth one, the 33, 20 seconds left in the game. John Sumner calls signals and we're going to have an offside penalty. And they're going to face off 5 more yards against the diplomat, and that'll make it 2nd and 2. Frank Burns to the split end. Second and 2 from the 28-yard line, still 20 seconds left in the game. Somerton calls signal, stands off to Dick McCurdy. Dick drives over right tackle to about the 26-yard line. I think he has a first down on the play. The referee stops the clock with 11 seconds remaining on the scoreboard clock. And, well, let's see, they're going to measure or short. I think it'll be 1 yard short of the first down.
I think that was Franklin Marshall's last time out. So the Garnet can just run this play. That'll be keep it in bounds. That'll be the game. Both fans are rings around the field on the track watching as the final seconds here of this very exciting football game. Which is going to close all the way. Right, Garnet comes to the line of scrimmage. Flanked out to the right, Burns on the left. Comes under center. Goes through the middle, breaks into the clear momentarily, and down to the 22 down the middle. And that's whole time out, it seems to go through for the first down. The Garnet is declining to run out the clock. Obviously tried something here for a touchdown. Right? That's stressful.
Oh, John got his first down. First 10 on the 22-yard line. Scoreboard clock shows 3 seconds left. Swarthmore comes to the line of scrimmage. Somerton calls signals, and we're going to have offside again. And I don't think they want to end this football game.
Well, this is a heck of a drive, that's all I can say. It's forward motion down the middle of the field by one way or the other. And we're down now on the 17-yard line. Somerton showing great savage here. He's the club on quarterback down in the 17. This should be the final play. John calls signals at the line of scrimmage. Goes up the middle. And is knocked down on the 15. That's the football game. And the Garnet has won 23-20 in a very exciting game, very hard-fought game. The Garnet is now 2-0 this season. It's very quiet here as it was a very partisan home crowd, about 4,000 or 5,000 homecoming day. But the Garnet with some rugged defensive play, 3 key plays by Dick Kamen here in the final quarter, and a clutch pass rush by Dexter Farley, have come out on top in a very close game, 23-20. There were many injuries on both teams, and especially for the Garnet. We'll have to see how Craig Martin is, how Fred Montgomery is, whatever. But a hard-fought, well-earned victory for the Garnet. Disappointed F&M team, but a tired and very happy Garnet team. Next week, Swarthmore will be home. And I advise everybody to come out and see them because they play some good football. They've won 2 in a row. They now unbeaten 16 MCAC games. And they won 2 toughties on the road. Frank, you have some stats on the game here.
Well, first of all, scoring summary. And we better take it right from the beginning because every touchdown is important. Swarthmore scored with 8 minutes done in the first quarter on a 6-yard pass. John Somerton to Chip Burke from 36 the extra point. The Garnet led 7-0. F&M came back, scored with 3:45 left in the quarter on a 3-yard sweep on a fullback power play. Outstone goes in. Snellball's attempt for the extra point was no good. Goes wide. Swarthmore closed out the first half, scoring with 3:25 left after 6:30. Included a field goal from the 18-yard line. And so they had time to score with Swarthmore 10, Franklin and Marshall 6. Franklin and Marshall then took the lead in the game by a score of 15-10. South Stone, in on the sweep, ran 24 yards, tried for a 2-point conversion, busted. F&M had to lead 16-12. Then Dick McCurdy ran in 60 yards after 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The extra point attempt, no good. The F&M led 12-10. Now Swarthmore to lose 16-12. Okay, now we have it straight. Now it's towards the end of the third quarter. Franklin and Marshall 12, Swarthmore 16. But F&M got right back onto the scoring column as we got a long touchdown pass of 71 yards. And that went from quarterback C.J. Korn to Rusty Ward. Raced down the left sideline. Tried for a 2-point conversion and complete again on a pass to Korn to Ward. And that's what F&M is the lead 2016. And Swarthmore won the game. Swarthmore won the game on a touchdown with 12 minutes left in the game. Run by Chip Burton of 10 yards and a very slow extra point 6:30. The final score 23 for Swarthmore and 20 for F&M and here at the final statistics for Russian Franklin Martin 78 yards, Swarthmore 111. Passing, John Sumner was 17 for 24 for 184 yards. TJ Course of F&M throwing very well also, 30 for 235 yards. Each quarterback was intercepted once. Total offense, Swarthmore ran 75 plays, got 295 yards, F&M ran 65 plays, 313 yards. Rather evenly matched game all the way, man.
That's what I think. When you look at it, the defense did it because the final touchdown was that blocked kick on the 10-yard line. They yelled when the going got tough, especially in the stadium. And you have to also point, I guess, the first half of that penalty was for F&M on the 1-yard line back to the trying to field always had been. You have to point to our field goal, which was successful, which was the margin of victory, 3 points. So the Garnet showed a pretty strong defense today, and I think the defense won the game for us. The offense contributed just enough. So I guess that's just wraps it up.
That's right, Mike. Swarthmore now has gone on to win the 16th consecutive MASCAT game. Next week will be the home opener against Delaware Valley. That's a new opponent here in the Northern Division, and they are tough. That's big. And that streak is going to be definitely jeopardy. We hope you'll come after the great team of this third sport.
One final word of another sport. It is 4-2 in favor of the Cardinals in the 8th inning in the World Series. Now next week I don't think the World Series will be going, so why don't you come down and watch the Garnet play football.
That Delaware Valley game will be followed by 2 more home games. Our next away game and the next WSRN broadcast will be November 4th. 4 weeks from today, from Johns Hopkins, we'll be on the air with a pregame show on that at 1:45. Game time is 2 o'clock. We'd like to thank our statistician, Steve Meloff, and our human secretary, Peter Grant. And now, for Mike Halpern, this is Frank Brown saying so long from Franklin and Marshall. Once again, the final score, Swarthmore 23, Franklin and Marshall 20. This has been a WSRN Sports presentation. Well, as you just heard, Swarthmore just beat F&M 23-20 in a very exciting game. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock as WSRN Swarthmore College Radio begins its regular programming for this season.